ebisi ne omunya ho hwe last year June and obo mama ne I just say or say no one say asafo no e treating it that way
nti oba be catch na manyede
na ka wadaroma maybe odini tibetun ka bitima boa na era ho say famra ko
on say me nti asori o ma me nto emfa nto bo maame oh asori de nkanya boni o
Mercy FM
but me busam wo mutie me na I know say mo mutie me na wo ya Kristofo me ya gidifo say sofo na sa asem we to na nka himfa no begina mo am from say gidifo mo mfo mani emutu ani wom mo soye na be ka kire say atemuda bunsam gemini heaven o say kan sen wo ho na nyakopon tina konwom ebebu aten ye kan wa so dem wo ye mfa so sika mo nipa chese mi dwuwa aye mi nwa de na metimi aye wo ha no bi fi hospital na IVC ni so onye skantua ne bro o to aduro na IVC ni so no free hospital no ba radio station ha obaji bibi di akọ
aba
kwaku
ma me fa we so nto so enra we na di o enra so ma me bi ba ha onso che se yade na na cancerous na ontimi kra nja ne nice say
okay
a che se otena se kra atena se ho den ma no ono so ba se nka wada roma boa no me sure so TCC a
so
easy kra
obi so oro so akwa sore saa ni kuna wu na wanya container bi enko peska na akwa fani magum dia hwe nkwala no ode ato asore empanifu nyina anim ne ade bepem nne wo muntimi nka ahwe nyeden enkyere no no kra asore no sentimi zo bi aso nti so mi busa mo amutie nyase e kwa asore se ye kwa de yisika omo gigino mo de de enye we mi nya wa man churches o asore bi mission houses bi asore mo mission ya chese omo do mo ba ya che ibi ebi hospitals nya de na ho na free intermediate menya sembi America ya kire mo kakra bia metinya yi bia no me mo bedi nkomo abaifo se afi omo be conference omo to mo nsa free wiasefo nyina nti ye be hwese benya abaifo bi na ye ni omo di nkomo why na qualify say okosa meeting ni bia we ni your richest conference omo ebe ye America
Mercy FM
nti ye ni bedi nkomo wie ye Ghana ha easy so bit maka so be fo na den ene beto wo ye ensa be ka wo mu a ne ato aso kwaku
baba we dey ka ni gisamo so be nya kwa na
na mi ko amos na no fo si ni se bro wo na me nya ko amos me be fo
baba we dey so ko last 2 years and last year na ko no
4 years I think 4 years 3 years
okay yeah
ko ni me nu nya bi
yes intino so we feel about there
so
eso koba
kwaku adi o
aba eso koba
edi pa
ko tie di abaifo no ka ne ka bichi ne be ka bichi ne yeso yenhwe na last 4 years na akoye no o hwe experience akonya ye o de omo na o de tutu ye abaifo no mo ha ne experience ano mo nya papa e sakra kakra senso so ye be ne dantemu
kwaku so we abaifo bi wo Ghana afre ne busa nsa question wi me abaifo mi obi anhia da
baba so se Ghana nyina o na abaifo ha o
ha do ma me me abaifo ha me kwaku nsema ye kan wako disika ma sorry for 30 years ni me na baji o balance afi no kwaku enje na me kasa abaifo ha me no ndino ha gri ye pa ndino I don't know.
About o de me beso ka bi akara che say omo style of abaifo na ti say be yi no mo ye no na ti say
o be yi no I just say ye bi ni ebuso ba cho wa wo ye baifo e bi ahoma ntuma na wa frɛ na wa ka kwan afa so a wo ye obayi no ba bia do obayi nam ne adina no ye ne wo nya be di enkomo nti ye behwe na ye fast da kese ma Roman Father Adru Father Martins Adru no ye fast da kese e man Roman Father Adru immune system booster no bomodi a ne ko na ekoko gibi herbal shops pharmacy shops ebi guba bia megaphones so ekrankrofo a omoton ko na ko gibi unim be bebo pa bomodi Roman Father Adru Father Martins Adru number no ye 0244 360004 0244 360004 Father Martins Adru na me de wo call a prostate doctor foundation Kumasi paparazzi hotel echi enomo omo ben Presbyterian na sorry dan no udru ha bibia be fine Accra so omo was St John's e ben Vision 1 radio station no but modern nebra prostate no awanya problem wo ho no ye be boa hepatitis ni nyina but modern nebra liver function test no ye be ni nyina ma LFT bibia be kama but modern nebra e adwuma kopim Saturdays 3 p.m. na yapon but modern nebra da bia screening we liver no bra bo na ehwo aka no o prostate no ye de ato be mem your number no face see am ye nkomo
0240 775 751 0240 775 751 na ene prostate doctor foundation indi nkomo na ewo macro Goy filling station Adusa Herbal Center papa
Adusa osemadansi ni Adusa Adus osemadansi ni Adusa Herbal Adusa Herbal osemadansi ni Adusa osemadansi ni usisi ya ya jibi uti ya ya jibi no Adusa oni na wodru koko mankani ye yini nyina afi ho Adusa o Adusa Goy fuel station eno eho na omo macro mazi eho en omo ye adwuma da bia ko na kwaji Adusa no ni bi da bia so mo ye screen na ho omo ofidi ahodo bebre ho omo ne hwe ni padua ni mu this year was screen ye ba ko na oguso obobo ano Adusa duro no bo modern from mema mo tu kwan oba wontimi wo be ma wontimi ntu kwan wontimi wo Adusa number ni
0557 009 824 0557 009 824 bakonso 0500 110 115 0500 110 115
mi fa nko mama ye ni ma ho ko
abuzo ye ko ayatimati mase prophetess yanima na ya mami honhom how bia dausu bia na spiritual matter bia spiritual problem bia fabra say ya de wadwuma sem wade sem wakontu sem bibi bia ya how ne kodanda dausu bia na first number we 0243 875 102 0243 875 102 etimati mase na ya mami prophetess ya animawo
bida se epi na yeguso ye bomo nka ye se ye beko America memu ni akohe se yebenya eye Rev Love in ebedin komo Christian Riches ye no mo ebedin komo 2023 na chese Riches Conference na bibeko so e wa America memu nti ye hwe se yebenya wo mo a na ye ni wo mo ebedi eye enkomo inti baby awo wi no. Do you believe in witches? Do you believe in Christianity? Believe it or not, we're going to talk to one of the witches live on the radio all the way from America. Believe it or not, Christian witches. And it will baffle you to know we have witches in Christianity, not in Islam. So in no time Auntie Love will join us all the way from United States, and she will walk us through the meaning of witches or witchcraft. Hi,
how are you? I'm so happy to be back.
Me too. It's been a long time. What happened?
It's been a very long time. Well, you know, COVID tried to get us, but it...
Anyways, we are still alive. I'm also good here. And how is your group? Told you so. I'm super connected with Nana. Wi-Fi no. I was for a moment now. We are having challenges with our lines and we're trying to rectify it. So in no time.
Kumasi FM.
Baba, my main comment man so I have a clinic camera. Okay, then you go back.
Hello, my love. Are you here?
Oh, wonderful. Well, I am here and I am ready.
Good, good, good. We were having problems with our lines, but now it has been rectified. So how is it going?
Oh, it's going very well. So since the last time we spoke, we have had so much growth in Christian Witches. Many people coming to the Facebook community, many more subscribers on YouTube, many more people who are buying the books. They're buying the books every day about how to be initiated as a Christian witch, how to take the blood oath. We take an oath of blood, and how to live your life as a Christian witch, and it is amazing. And now we're on TikTok too, and now we have thousands of people on TikTok joining us too. It's growing and spreading rapidly all over the world, and I'm very thankful.
Wow. So on the scale, rough estimation or rough estimated, how many people do we have? Millions.
Oh, well, I don't know if we have millions yet. I do know that there are over 1 million witches that are in the United States. Some of them are Wiccans. Not all of them are Christian witches. Some of them are Wiccans. Some are solitary practitioners, and some are Christian witches. And I heard you say earlier that there are no witches in Islam. Yet I think there may be, because there are witches everywhere, yet they may be undercover hiding because the religions do not allow for witchcraft and magic.
Wow. Okay, let's take pick here. Maybe today happens to be somebody's first time listening to you on the radio. Would you mind to, identify yourself a little bit?
Yes. So I am Reverend Valerie
Kumasi
Love,
FM.
and I'm also known as Kaisi. And what I teach is helping billions of Christians around the world to release judgment, fear, and ignorance about witchcraft, magic, and the occult, and help them to see the magic that is in the Bible, help them to understand that the first Christians also practiced magic and witchcraft, and that many Christians practice witchcraft to this day, even though they don't know it, with Christmas, with Easter, with birthdays. Many celebrations use witchcraft and they don't know it. So I'm here to help people come out of judgment and fear and ignorance.
Wow. So today you're going to be our teacher. That's good. You know what? It's going to be very interactive today. So I'll pause here and interpret everything that you said in our local dialect so that I'll come back to you. Is that okay?
Yes.
Good.
Wonderful.
Ebusuafo ye ma me before na ye ne no ebo enkomo no we Kristo ni osaye before America man mu no wo na me kan na se wote se o ma ye se e Kristo fo before na ebi ni nkramum wo se ebi na wo mu na na cover na me busa ne se bi e nani ada obi a wo di kan wo tie yin na se no besia aka ne ho asem kakra no so ne dia ne se o chire titru Kristofo nyema wo Bible mu a dodo na ya bayisem bronya ye di Easter ne nyema keka ho aye nim ne dia so wo chire na sam ye hu nipa ye na dia wo ya no nti only wo gitum se o ye bayfo ha ne ye do afa no join ya wo be fina join Facebook live Kumasi 104.1 FM Ochunoko Kamame YouTube Kumasi TV Ochunoko TV TikTok so Ochunoko TV. Ye mame love and ekasa. Ma'am, I'm back to you. So how long have you been as a witch? How long have you been around as a witch?
I was born a witch, and I am born of many other witches. So my mother was a witch, my grandmother was a witch, many witches in my family. And most witches are like this. They have witches in their family, though they may not know it, because the women probably did not say they were witches because maybe they were Christians or maybe they were in the religion. Yet they were doing witchcraft, even though they didn't know it. So, I was born a witch.
Wow. Were you told, or you yourself were able to identify it? How old were you then when you identify yourself as a witch? What happened? Would you mind to share that portion with us?
Yes. When I was very little, 3, 4, I always had these abilities. I could see spirits, talk to spirits. I could know things that were happening. I would stare at people, and people, my mother's friends used to say, tell her to stop staring at me, because I could see things. Like if I looked at them, I could see things that was going on in their life. Now, I didn't know it was psychic or anything like that, because they talk about that in Christianity. That was all off limits. They called all of it the devil and the demons. That's what they called it. So I didn't think anything about witchcraft at all, because they didn't expose us to anything like that. Well, when I got older, at about 30, I left Christianity because I had a very deep depression, and I almost took myself out because I was so in a box, and I knew that there was something more. I was looking for something more, and I didn't know what I was looking for. I only knew that I was looking for something more. So I began going on my spiritual journey. And when I went on my spiritual journey, I read a lot of books on Buddhism, Hinduism, books on spirituality, metaphysics. When I got to the witchcraft books, I was very afraid. You can imagine. I was terrified, because, you know, they tell you in Christianity, you should never touch anything like that. It's the devil. You're going straight to hell. You know, all these things they tell Christians to really keep them in fear, because none of it's true. Because I have many books on witchcraft and many books on magic, and no lightning bolt has come out of heaven yet at all. So when I started reading the books on magic and witchcraft, I realized that the things that my family was doing was witchcraft. Like, for instance, I give you some for instance. My grandmothers will always heal us with the herbs. So all the herbs that were in the witchcraft books were the same herbs that my grandmothers used for the same things for us. Then they would take the herbs and they would make oils from them, potions, liniments, salves. They would roll it, rub it on you, and then they say some words. It could be a prayer. A prayer is the same thing as a spell. A prayer is the same thing as an incantation, like what a witch would say. It's the same thing. It's a spoken word mover of energy. And so I started to see that, and my grandmothers would take their dishwater and throw it in a certain direction. Well, this is what they do in hoodoo, and people who are root workers. And so we had all these different customs, and my grandmothers always used to tell me, this is another thing my grandmother always used to say, never let anybody get your hair. And so whenever they brush their hair or comb their hair, they would take the hair out of the comb, out of the brush, flush it down the toilet, because they were not really afraid. They just knew that if somebody got your hair, maybe they were going to work some roots or make some bad conditions, try to attempt to make bad conditions for you, and you just don't want to have that energy at all in your life. So this witchcraft goes very deep in my family, and I think it's everywhere. I think if you look closely, you see witchcraft everywhere. I think everyone, or especially Christians, are definitely practicing witchcraft, because when they created the Christian religion, they blended it with the pagans in Rome, and that's how they made everybody happy in Rome, so people would stop fighting and stop having these rebellions and insurrections against the Roman government. And they put it all together, and they put Christmas at the time of the winter solstice, which is the witches' or the pagan celebration of the sun, right? The sun going down. And then they made the Easter, the rising of Jesus, at the time of Ostara. Ostara, which is Easter. Ostara is a goddess of fertility. And she has a totem animal, like a spirit animal. Her spirit animal is the rabbit or the hare. So that's why you see the bunny at Easter. The bunny has nothing to do with Jesus. You see the eggs. The eggs have nothing to do with Jesus rising from the dead. And all of this came from witches, from the pagans and from the witches, because they blended it all together. And that's how we got Christianity.
Wow. I'll come back to you again. I was not for your mamma now, or Casana, many Busan, so you didn't say, or your bay for say, if you know what I bring, who are dear, who will be brave. Now I do better, no one can't, you see, Nana, but 2 moon as no, some moon night at here. edu baby kwa na yare na ba so mo den haban s no mo enwa ebi kwa no hwe nsu agu baby ohwe den etugu na de enwa mo a okan no wan se so mo mu timu a wo de kom na omo ya yi na beka afemu yi a omo tun fanto fo mo de ato toilet mo ma flash omo ni so bi na wutimu obetim da de aye bibi o boni o ti abrochiro to se sa ni mani na no eche se nhumbu wiase ni na ya bayini ma na bible mu nsi ma yehu easter ni ade na ni abosom enema hudu bebre wo roman 4 twetwe ni bebre free abosom sumu enom de be wura ma ene abai kristo sum a ye nyina ye timu no safe no ajoin ni ye de a na sa pepepe na oyeden ye kono. Auntie Love, I also have a story to share with you. When I was lad, I used to dream a lot, about mammals and amphibians and all that. When I do talk about it, my dad will say, "Shut up, you are devil." Okay, I was even sent to the hospital, and I was told I was suffering from illusions and schizophrenia and all that. So I have to keep mute and all that. Would you classify that dreams of mine as a witchcraft per your experience?
I would say that you are having the same kinds of experiences that witches have, because witches and people that have these gifts, these are gifts. Witches and people that have these gifts can see into other dimensions. Now, this is not strange or unscientific to understand other dimensions, because quantum physics tells us that there are 11 or 12 dimensions that can be measured by science. So there are other dimensions of consciousness, and we're only at the third dimension. So can you imagine fourth, fifth, and beyond, right? So you are able to tap into these other dimensions and see spirits, beings, entities that people cannot see, that do not have these gifts. And then the people who do not have these gifts, or they're too afraid to use the gifts, they tell you, no, something's wrong with you, stop it, you're crazy, or it's the devil or whatever, because they don't want to even think about the idea that we are surrounded by many spirits all the time.
So in your case, you live in the Western world, I would say developed country, and here in Africa we are underdeveloped country. Okay, have you ever tried to trace your family tree at your age? Have you tried to trace your family tree?
Yes, and I did find that my family is from Ghana, Benin, Togo, and Nigeria.
You can't be specific.
They're more, because there are many ancestors. There's many ancestors. Mm-hmm. So in my ancestry, some ancestors are from Nigeria, okay, some are from Ghana, and some are from Benin and Togo, and some are from Scotland.
Okay.
That could be the colonizers.
Okay. So with your power that you have now is somehow mixed Scottish and Africa, isn't it?
Yes, because the Scottish witches are very, very, very powerful witches. They tried to kill them. And of course, the African magic is very strong. So all of that is in the blood, and everyone who is a witch practicing magic, you have magic in your blood from your ancestors.
So where you live now in America, how is it like, to tell people that I'm rich? How do they see you? Do they run away from you, or they try to come around you as a friend?
Both. There are people that are very afraid because they are in Christianity and they have been told that it is the devil. So they are very afraid, and all they know about, you can read the comments. If you read our comments on TikTok, we have a couple of viral videos on TikTok where you see me teaching to the Christians that hell is not real. They made up hell. They invented it to keep people under control and to make people very afraid. And we also get a lot of people who are very curious. So one group of people you have, they just, no, you're going to hell, you're going to hell, you're going to hell. Because they don't like when the truth makes their beliefs, reveals that we're believing something that is not so. Then you have all the people who love it and are following us are doing Christian witchcraft. So it's both. And even in the United States, where it is very advanced and developed, you would be amazed at how many people still are very afraid of witches in the United States.
Wow. I'll come back to you in no time. I was not for a man, come at the actual say, Misano, Miss Me, who won't so more and now I can see. They come up as a coming to Mukra Bayfo. If you be required in Marco Hospital, I say, my Mukra coming. Me tell whom your mass and Mayabo Yareniade. I was seeing me the only bay Jesus, maybe an anthem, a sapper pen heading, a tear, near Kawaii, Ashe. Into only some my walk can say, fear me a tumor ye, near flash a new, near dinner, then once will be a taboo. Ne mama ne mama mu na yesa bi na mebusa ne se me pese me hu se sisia baby onu aduru mu wa hwehwe na chi baby anase for free o se mu ma bi okenkan ne de wa hu baby cheso mu free English man mu ebi so cheso mu free Nigeria baby cheso mu free Ghana baby cheso mu free Benin na cheso hwa ase bayi se mi na ye den akoye baako ana mebusa ne se enti sa nyama wo nyina na eboa o se han so no da bia woka we had TikTok near no general check Christopher Wadi. Say, O Mamma Jimmy be anywhere di. Heaven be any hope when some Jenny was 1 year jedi. And ye in a jedi. And Jamia did it through on wedding, Ogusua watch. Now, maybe sense I will show now what a hope minimum, advanced country. I be at room. And one may easy sober catch will be so me a witch. Some of the room was see and the cream one who will be so more bound chain. Not just adding a idea, what baby are. Tafem wa join here dia yene Rev Love Christian Riches president and na yedi eye enkomo ma I'm here.
Okay,
yeah.
Wonderful.
Yes, it seems you have a problem with Christianity or Christendom. Every time that you make mention of Christianity, you try to go around bringing other noxes from the Bible, like the Agnostic Bibles and all that into the conversation. What is that?
Because what people do not understand is when Jesus Christ walked this earth, he did not make a religion. This is very important for us to understand. People came after him.
Would you mind to repeat that point again? That point only.
Yes. Yes.
Jesus Christ did not what?
When Jesus Christ was on this planet, when he was alive, before they killed him, before the Romans crucified him, he did not make a religion. Jesus was not a Christian. So when I say that I am a Christian, what I mean is I follow the life and teachings of Christ, spiritual path, not a religion. The religion was made up by humans many centuries after Jesus' death. The first gospel that was written is the Gospel of Mark. Now, many people think the first gospel that was written is Matthew, because when you open your modern day Bible, it says Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Yet, the proper order is Mark. Mark was the first gospel to be written, and this gospel was written 40 years after the death of Christ. So Christ was crucified by the Romans in early 30s of the first century, and Mark was written in 70. Now let me ask you a question. If somebody wrote a story 40 years from now about you and I having this conversation today, and they claim that they're going to tell you everything that we said, would you believe them? Now, they weren't in the conversation. They heard the conversation from someone else, and then they wrote it down. Would you think that that would be a completely accurate representation of the conversation you and I are having right now?
Not really.
No, it cannot be.
Not really.
Right.
They will write what will suit their interest.
Yes. So when you read the Bible, which I love, I don't stop at the Bible. I also read what is called the Apocrypha, which are the other lost books of the Bible, the secret books of the Bible that no one wants you to know about. And I also read the Gnostic Bible, which is a Bible that has many more books that they don't want you to know about, like the Gospel of Judas Iscariot. Judas Iscariot wrote a gospel. The infancy gospel of Thomas, which tells you about Jesus when he was a child and how he had his powers when he was a child, and how even his mother Mary used to heal people with his blankets and with his bath water. People wanted his bath water when he was a baby. They also have a gospel of Mary Magdalene, in which Peter was very upset that Mary was so loved by Jesus and he frequently kissed her on the lips. This is all in these Bible books that are not in the 66 canon.
Which of the Marys are you referring to? About the kissing?
You can... this is in the Gnostic Gospels.
I understand, but we have a bunch of Marys in the Bible. Which one are you referring to? The mother of Jesus?
Mary. No, not the mother of Jesus. We are talking about, you're right, there are many Marys in the Bible, because at that time in Galilee and Jerusalem, in that whole region, Mary was a very common name, just like it is today. Well, this is Mary, who they call Mary Magdalene or Mary of Magdala. There is some discussion between scholars as to what that word actually means. Does Magdalene mean where she was from, or does Magdalene mean something else? And there was a one verse, or actually there's one reference that says the reason they called her Mary Magdalene is not because of where she was from. It means strong tower, that she had so much faith, like a mighty tower, and so Magdala means tower. So there's different renditions on what Mary Magdalene meant. We are talking about Mary Magdalene, who could very well have been the wife of Jesus, or at least it would have been very strange that he would not have been married, right? So it is very likely that he was married. And Mary Magdalene, if you remember, she was the one who was able to dress his body after the crucifixion. Now, he was a rabbi or a teacher, and it would have been against the Jewish law to have a woman that is not either your mother or your sister or your wife to dress your body, your naked body, with the oils and spices that they used for the burial. That she had to have been a very close woman to him, because there is no way that she would have been able to do that. And according to some versions of the Gospels, she was the first one to see him after he raised from the dead, right? He appeared to her first. And so there is a lot about Christ and his actual life and who was close to him that the Christians completely ignore, because they went and they made up their own religion, and that religion was solidified in 325 at the Nicene Council, when after hundreds of years of discussing, well, who is Jesus? Was he divine? Was he not divine? Is it three? It's the Holy Spirit. It's the Trinity. It's hell. It's this, it's that. 325 years into this first common era is when they came up with the Nicene Council and the Nicene Creed. And the Nicene Creed put in writing what Christianity really is about. But remember, what they created and what Jesus actually did are two different things.
Wow. There's one question here I'd love to ask you. Just mention about Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene. I've read a lot about them. Somewhere 2004 when I was in Hong Kong, I had a book and a video pop up. They were married couples. They had kids and they once settled in France. Have you come across such, should I call it fiction or non-fiction? Have you come across that tale before? How true is that one?
Yes, I do believe that that has merit. And here's why. When Christ was executed, when he was crucified, everyone scattered, right? And so it is very possible that Mary, his wife, if Mary Magdalene was his wife, we do not have conclusive proof or evidence that it was his wife. It's just very strange that you would have a 30-something-year-old Jewish man with no wife. That would be very bizarre. Very bizarre. And so it was very likely in all the references that they make to Mary Magdalene that this is his wife. And so if this was his wife, then you would be expecting that they would have children. And they say that she, later on, she bore a daughter, and they were in a boat, and they went over to France. And even in France, they have the actual location where they say she arrived, and they have monuments to Mary and the child. And this is not Mary, the mother of Jesus, because this child is a girl. And this is also something that could be one of the very well-kept secrets of the Vatican. You know, the Catholic Church likes to keep secrets hidden. This could be one of the very well-kept secrets, yet it is in the Gospels that we have at the pseudepigrapha. I'm going to put it in the chat, the website to go to, the link to go to read all of these books for yourself. I'm not here to convince anyone of anything. I want everyone to read it for themselves and come to their own conclusions. So yes, that is a very good possibility.
So there is a concrete evidence, right?
There is not concrete evidence that he was married, but there is a lot of evidence that she could be his wife. And also in France, there is evidence that she arrived with a child, and this child was a daughter.
If indeed they were having, affair, why are they hiding it from public domain? Why is it so?
Well, because this would upset the whole Christian apple cart. They cannot have any kind of discovery like this, because this would just blow the whole thing wide open. Because remember, he was not supposed to be married. He was not supposed to ever have sex with a woman. He was not supposed to be human. Now, we know he was born of a woman, and in the story it says she was born of a virgin. They added that to the story later, because we do know that, scientifically speaking, a virgin cannot have a child. And even though I am a minister and I'm a reverend, and I know that there are many miracles, and I've seen many miracles, still we know that he must have had some kind of father. Well, the idea that he was God came later. He never said he was God. So if you just take Jesus, what he was saying when he was alive, how he helped people, how he healed people, what he was talking about, if you take just that and then you compare it to the religion that we have today, this is clearly two different things. Yet they say that they are following Jesus. They're not. They're following the bishops and the church fathers and the Catholic Church, and they're following the Roman emperors, and they're following what they were told to follow. Because once they got together at the Council of Nicaea in 325, and they finally said, okay, what do we believe? And they brought all the bishops together, and they wrote it all out. Then they set about burning all the other books and everything that didn't agree with this. So they made up what they wanted the religion to be, and then they killed everyone that didn't get on side with this, and they burned the books, and tried to destroy everything else other than this one thing, because Rome just wanted one religion for the whole state. And that's why you still have the Holy Roman Empire to this day. I was just in Rome because I do my research all over the world. I was in Egypt over the summer for about a month. And then I went to Italy, and I was in Rome. And literally, when you are in Rome and you cross over, we know this because I saw many Africans also in Rome, and many African brothers and sisters. You know that when you step into St. Peter's Square, you step over an international line because it's a separate country. They have their own country. The whole Holy Roman Empire is still there in the middle of Rome, right in the middle of Italy, and it is its own country with its own police, and you are in a different country. Literally, you cross an international line when you go from Italy, Rome, Italy, to the Vatican.
I'll be with you in no time. Abusafo enkomo no ayede ya maami ene kasa we bevu na ye didi nkomo na ye o the Bible ni busa ne se impempen odi nkomo a na kofa Bible wasem e dia ba mu opesu yi mu ni ade no se an Bible no ba bi wo ho a o ma daada e bi kra ni se Matthew man di kan nso kra na e Mark no busa ne se enkomo a me ni di ni after 40 years and in fear duanan so obi tro no de ba se enkomo a me ni Madam Love and Dr. Love D say na tia meji di na mse da mi nyini e so betro de be so dani o se sa pepepe na Bible no ba bia den akoye mu tru bi na de bia hyem ni books ahodo wa no kan a Christopher pese o mu nhu nti the books ni na bia den asiesi agnostic Bibles na de keka o keka ebi book of Adam, book of Bible of Eve, no book of Enoch, 6 and 7 books of Moses and de keka ho nyina no o se ma yen kan sa nwoma no enu na ni mani nyina den ewo o kan abesi se Yesu Kristo pokura no a yedi na chi no na ye wo ye mame bi e friend say Mary Magdalene e wo anu afi Yesu mfra no nti onu asua de akoduru ba bi a wo se na live wo oni no kura wo baba e na mi so me ka se be 20 years ago video bi pia bontin the books bi e cheso mo kotena France o se e no kre ukodu France a sa bedi maame no kwa ni Yesu baba ni na wo na Yesu kura e born asem yam owuye no ono de dware no siesie no na ben wa so bi e giu ni at the age of 30 na onire no ono onyitum na nhwemu bebre e wo na yeji tum se Yesu ye Nyankopon oba so ye Nyankopon se de pia bontin se ono kura wo mpena asa ni wo beba enti akata sa ne mani na so enti ensem bebre hinta na nse oko Egypt o yiremu oko Italy oko Rome also ko do Rome wa Vatican a country within a country honey Holy Land ayeko o si ne be Rome afo adane no Bible no kro madane akiri ene yetimo mode dada yi ta fe no adwo ne yede a na sapepe na enkomo ne den etie. In case you've just joined us, we're having exclusive with Christian Witches President Madam Love all the way from America. All the way from America. So you just sit back, you can send in your comments at the right time, we will read them. Madam, I'm back to you again.
Yes.
Do you believe in voodooism? Voodoo. Because we have branches when we talk about witches. Which one do you condone? Which one do you prescribe to? Or you love all of them?
I do believe in voodoo. Voodoo. There are different ways to say it because there are different sort of flavors of it. Because I go to New Orleans a lot. I will be in New Orleans next week. I will be speaking at an event that is for a retreat for Daughters of the Water, retreat for the Orisha, which is going to be for Yemaya and Oshun.
Wow.
And so I'm going to be there, speaking next week about magic and about how to understand better spirituality and how to practice. So I do not practice voodoo or voodoo. I do know practitioners of voodoo, and I do know that when we go to New Orleans, which we go there very often, there's a very powerful spirit of voodoo there. And Marie Laveau, who was the voodoo queen of New Orleans, she used to have the voodoo rituals by the river there, and it was public rituals, and people would come from miles all around to come to her voodoo rituals.
Wow.
Yes, it's real, and even though I don't practice it, yes, it's very real, and it's very, very, very prominent in the United States, especially in New Orleans, and also in Haiti, and also in other Caribbean countries, islands, as the diaspora from Africa came and spread the religions of Africa throughout the Caribbean and into the Americas.
Wow. Voodoo, when I said voodoo, what comes in mind, it was being derived from Benin in Africa here. And I've read a lot about them.
Yes.
I've been there about 20 years ago. When you read their history, they do eat the flesh of human. They drink blood and all that. So what do you know about voodooism where you are in the Eastern world? Do they eat the flesh? Do they drink blood? What do they do?
Well, there are many paths that drink blood. They're not the only ones. So there are different ones that use blood. And let me talk about why we use blood and witches use blood. And we also use blood in our initiations. Even though we do not drink blood, we have a blood oath when you are initiated as a Christian witch. The reason we use blood is because blood is life. And everyone knows blood is life. And in the blood because blood is life, when you are doing magic, you must give something of value for what you're asking for. So if you're asking for, let's say, I know someone who wanted to have children. She could not get pregnant. She couldn't have children no matter what. It was very difficult for her. And so she did rituals to Oshun. And when she goes to Oshun and she did her rituals to Oshun at the river, of course you have to bring offerings. You don't just ask for something free without giving any offerings. So of course she had her offerings of the pumpkins. She had her offerings of devotion and prayers to Oshun. This is energy, right? And so when you are asking for something, you must be willing to give something. Nothing in magic is free. It's just like if you go to the store and buy groceries, you can't load up your cart and go to the front and say, okay, just give this to me for a gift. No. So in magic, what do we give for pay? You don't give money because they can't use money where they are, the spirits that we talk to. Money is for the planet that we are on. It's for the third dimension. So what do they use in the other dimensions? Energy. Blood has energy. You have energy that is water. Water has energy. So the things that people use in voodoo, like let's say blood, water, eggs, all the different offerings, these are energy, and they all represent energy beyond this dimension, beyond the third dimension. And really all of this is very scientific, because if you look at quantum physics with the entanglement theory, it shows you that you can have an effect on something that is far away by affecting one thing in this place, and you can have effect on something else very far away. So this is all very scientific. And blood is actually used in Christianity too, because the whole Christian religion is built on a human sacrifice, a blood sacrifice of a human.
In Christianity?
Yes, Jesus. Isn't the whole religion based on a blood sacrifice of a human sacrifice?
I need clarification here about Jesus Christ and, sacrifice, blood and all that. How is it like?
Yes. So you know how to appease the gods, you know how sometimes I have a home in Mexico, and down in Mexico there is the Maya. And so I study all of these ancient civilizations all over the world. And you will find in some places in Maya, they had human sacrifice. Like they took like a virgin. That's the favorite person that they would like to sacrifice, maybe a virgin. The other person that they like to sacrifice is a great warrior. because they like to give the gods the best, right? And they had a ritual where a warrior would come back from winning from the enemy, and they would lay the warrior down on the altar, and the warrior would say, okay, now I'm going to sacrifice myself to the gods, because you want to give the best to the god, right? And the high priest would actually reach into the chest of the warrior and rip out the heart and hold it up to the heavens, and while the heart was still beating, so that they could sacrifice this human to the gods, and they want to give it the best. Well, what's the difference with Christianity? Christianity says that they needed a human sacrifice, because the story is that Adam became the first sinner. So we need someone to wipe away all our sins. We need a sacrifice to appease God so that we can be back in good standing with God again. So the whole Christian faith is built on a sacrifice of a human being. It's a human sacrifice that required blood.
I get you. With the battle, the witches, story, I've entangled with so many witches and wizards, and they've been telling me they can fly in the night hours within twinkle of an eye, maybe from Ghana to America. When you fly, I think the flying time is 11 hours, but they can get there within 30 seconds and do whatever they want to do, then come back to Ghana. Some say they sit on the brooms and fly and all that. In your case, how do you fly? Is it true that you can cross the ocean within twinkle of an eye, do whatever you want to do, then go back to America? Tell me more about yours.
Yes, and you could do it too if you were trained. You know why? Because you're going in another dimension. You're not going through time and space. See, if I have to go through time and space, once again, on the third dimension, if I have to go through time and space, it would take me hours to get there. Or maybe if I'm in a boat, days to get there. If I go into another dimension, if I leave my body, right? Many people do this. You do this every night when you're having your dreams. You leave your body. You lift up out of your body. You can go wherever you want without a slow body slowing you down, and you have to bring your body onto the plane and all this. And so what we learn when we do magic is how to travel through the astral plane, and it is actually another plane of existence, another dimension, and you can be there instantaneously, because in these other dimensions there is no time and space. So really, this is why they call witches hedge riders. A hedge rider is a person that can ride between the worlds. They can be in this world, they can be in another world. So witches have access to all these different worlds. And so we can go from one place to another place. I know witches that fly on brooms, and then I also know witches that can leave where they are. Their body is still there. They can go somewhere else, and they can tell you everything that is happening in that other place, and then they can come back to their body. As a matter of fact, the United States government has people who they call people who can do what is called remote viewing. Look it up. You can read all about all of this that I'm talking about. All of what I'm talking about can be proved with research if you go and look it up, because I have researched all these things myself. If you go to research, the United States government uses psychics. Many of them are witches, and also uses people who can do remote viewing. They can close their eyes and they can go to another country and they can look around the room and see everything that's in the room, and then open their eyes and tell you everything that's in the room. They use them for spies.
Wow. I'll be back with you in no time. I was your friend, my man, and you go to the Dinko. Now, but me ba a bay phone, so we a bay phone yade. Now, make us a bay phone. Be home really Panama Mojania. Don't say Christopher Crano. A woman almost so a soon be a Namojaso. I say Adama Ebony, Adamasi Food Nibony. And ye will be a neighbor pata, a year a friend saying Yankopon. na Yesu ba ye bo na se nnuam ya di na no ebi ano no na tete mmemu kra no ye kwa akoma ye yi obi oyo okonfo wo be na bi abosunsu no ye na koma na ye kanchi ni kra nipa no kopim se akoma no beto ebi oba na be ma wonfa na wonka be ma na oba ni ye na yimusu ni yetinye de ekoyanim nti ade de esum ya di na ne abaifo nko e na me ka se o mo ba yiye ni ade no o de toto ha de no mo amene abaifo bebre anya nhyiamu obu obetimi atu akwa buruchiri ufi akwa buruchiri a don hwe du baako 11 hours no akọ ensu miti baako no so kwa na nya nwanwa na ono kura so otimi katana ni a obonsu no so okobi na America ban ankasa etikuo bi a abaifo no ya fa bi a ebi mi CIA fo ebi mi spice what America o katana ni a onimni ekoso wa enro se nanse na me KOD AD Osama bin Laden no nkomo kwa mfa so mu kokun no enye easy enu na ne ma me baifo no wodi ni nyina no atowa o kasa ase no nyina no e wo fidie so ko comment be wa na okay ye be baso ana say okay into no so be join here dia na ye ne ma me na AD enkomo. We having a very nice conversation with Madam Love Christian Riches president all the way from America. Ma'am, back to you. You've been out for I think a couple of years because of the pandemic. We are now in 2023. What do we have as far as Christian Riches is concerned? Let's hear you. Do you have something good for the world?
Oh, very good for Christian Witches. So coming up in 2023, we have our Christian Witches Convention. Now, we get together every year, but of course, we started in 2019, and you were there. I'm so happy you came as a very honored guest. We're so happy to meet you. And we are now going to, we skipped 2020 and 2021 because of the situation that was going on. And then we started again in 2022. And we had our Christian Witches Convention in New Orleans. Now, when we were in New Orleans, you can see pictures of that if you go to the Christian Witches website and you click on the Christian Witches Convention. You can see all the pictures from the Christian Witches Convention in New Orleans in 2022. Now, in 2023, the Christian Witches Convention is going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada. And there we're going to have speakers come in. It's going to be bigger than the other ones. And we're going to learn more, help people understand more. We have volunteers. We have people that will be sponsors for the event. We have all of that coming up. It's a big, beautiful event in Las Vegas, Nevada, coming up in May, Memorial Day weekend of 2023. Now, the very first year that we had the Christian Witches Convention, which was in 2019, we had some protesters, which was very interesting. They came to Salem, Massachusetts, some Christian people who were protesting because they didn't like the Christian witches. But I don't mind, because I think when you have protesters, it just shows you that you're really doing your work. So this year in Vegas, we didn't have any protesters in 2022 because I think the protesters don't really want to come into New Orleans because there's so much magic and voodoo, pardon me, and witchcraft. And also there's a lot of drinking too. Besides all of that, is, you know, it's very wild. It's like party time on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. So we didn't see any protesters at the Christian Witches Convention in 2022, and I don't think we'll see any in 2023. So we have our big event coming up in May.
Wow. Is it free or it's not free? How much is going to cost, you know, a head?
No, it's not free, and we charge for it because we want people to value it, even though it's not very expensive. The tickets only start at $222 for the whole weekend. It is Thursday night we start, and then we have Friday classes all day, Saturday classes all day, and then Sunday morning we have a church service. We have the Christian Witches worship service that is a praise and worship service, and I deliver a word because I am a reverend, so I will be delivering a word for us, inspirational word, on Sunday morning. So the tickets start at $222 for the weekend. And if the person pays in Bitcoin, it's even less. It's $111.
What about
it's all on the website?
Okay. 20. How much is it?
It's the tickets start at $222.
222. Okay.
Yeah. 222 is a magical number.
Okay.
And then if people pay in Bitcoin, it's 111.
111. Okay. What about hotel reservation? Is it inclusive or only for the tuition?
So the place where we're having it at, they have a special room reservation rate for the rooms. So the 222 is only for the convention, all the classes and the workshops and the events that we do at the convention. And then we have a special room price for the ones who are coming to the convention to Las Vegas.
Okay. Retrospective to the protest at Boston, Massachusetts, when I came in 2019, I think the place was close to the Pentecostal church. That could be the reason. So I know this time around it's not close to any church. Am I right?
Yes, and we had just a couple of protesters. It wasn't very many, but we did have some people that came to Salem. Now, I don't know why the Christians would come to Salem and protest, because Salem is a witches' town. It's full of witches, and everything in Salem really is about witches and witchcraft. But they do have a church there. They do have a couple of churches there, and so they were protesting. But in America, people have the right to protest, so it's okay. We still did what we did, and it was not a problem at all.
Okay, I could see a bunch of messages coming in. People are having enthusiastic in the conversation, and they want to take part. And who qualifies to be participants? Who qualifies?
Oh, anyone can come to the convention. This is why we have it each year. It's open to anyone who wants to learn. It's not only for Christian witches. See, because there are some people who are Christians and they just are curious maybe about crystals, or maybe they're curious about how to be initiated, or maybe they're curious about herbs and things like that. And so it's not only for Christian witches. It's for anyone who wants to learn more about magic, the occult, witchcraft, and understand it. Because people just don't understand it. They're confused. So that way, they start to understand that the devil was also a made-up character by the puppeteers of society who want to control people. They made up the devil. The devil is not anywhere in the Hebrew Bible. There is no such thing as a devil. What we have is, pardon me, the adversary, and we know him as Satan. The Jewish people, the Hebrew people call him Satan. We know him as Satan the devil. Well, Satan works for God. He is the adversary, the opponent. It even says it in the Bible that he's the adversary. So what he does is he gives you sort of like weight training. He's sort of like goes against you to give you like he's like a weight trainer in the gym kind of thing. He's not this evil entity. This is Satan. He's a mighty angel in heaven. He works for God. Yet somehow the people who are, creating Christianity and these false beliefs, they came up with the idea of a devil. He's red with the pitchfork and the long red tail and the horns, and he's evil. And that was made up many years after the Hebrew Bible was written. It's nowhere in the Hebrew Bible. You don't see that anywhere in the Bible. So they made it up, and then later they said that the serpent in the Garden of Eden was the devil, and that's not true either. So these are things that people can easily research and find the truth for themselves, and that's what I would urge everyone to do.
Wow. I'll be with you in a second. I was not for Comona na Yedi na Mibusame Mameno. Say Abelfono Mutashiamu, in Fiebemi and Samuel Mushiam Mikobi. Na baby a call and Nam Pentecost for Suyan Shimu. Yasuya Shepa Mache say. Omo twimu me ni ade so omo mpene ni ade na no kasa America do bi atimi atwi mumume na se say this year de ye kɔ Vegas ho na ye kɔ May ho ne be kɔ se ho de o how bi ani ho mbete na me busan se man de betimi ababi oso obi abetimi ababi obi a pese wo ye magic obi a pese wo sue bibi wo sunsun bia no wotimi ba wo ba betua $222 and I'll betua hotel or I'll betua ka na wa besua de 1 week program na bibia e kama na ose bonsam bia ni ba bia cho na Bible mu bonsam o ye adwuma Nyankopɔn o ye bofo a wo ye na Roma for no church Bible ni aye bonsam ni podua ne se kokko na nim kokko bonsam bia ni hu bonsam no wa wo ba ye ho ani se wusi wo no ndi wi ase de en waka ni na de a kire oni baba ndi wo ba join ye de a ye ma me ba efo no na ye gusu a yesua no. There's one question here I'd love to ask you. Since you've been a witch, can you share some benefits that you are enjoying or that you've enjoyed in all your life as a witch, so that it will entice other people who wish to join, your party?
Yes. I believe that people work very hard, and they work too hard, and we know many people who work very, very hard and they still don't have the life of their dreams. I get to live a very blessed life, and the reason I get to live a very blessed life is because I understand energy, and I understand who I am, and I understand God as me, and that God is not way up in the sky telling people what to do. God is you, God is me, God is everywhere. God is right here, right now. And so because I understand these things, my life has changed dramatically. I used to be married to, someone that I didn't really want to be with. And now I have a very happy, happy, happy life, a very happy relationship with my children. I'm very prosperous. I'm very thankful. I do what I love every day. I have a home in Mexico that is a very beautiful home. So you could say that I really live a dream life. I get to travel all over the globe. I was just in Egypt over the summer. I spent a month in Egypt, and then I went to Greece from Egypt, where I went to study the ancient ruins there, the Temple of Dionysus, the Temple of Athena. And then I went to the Greek islands, and then I went to Italy, and I was in Italy for a while, and then I was able to go to the Vatican. And then from Italy, I went to Portugal, Lisbon, Portugal. And so I get to go all over the world. I've been to India, China, Hong Kong, throughout the Caribbean, Peru. We do sacred plant medicine in Peru. And I've been out throughout the United States. We were just in Sedona. And I have several companies. I have a corporation. And it is a very successful way of living. And I would say that most successful people are using magic and the occult, but you just don't know it.
Wow. Abusanfo eno kanu me bisa nze onya no yi wa ye bayi ya chemfa so ben wanya no oburugu won o se wiase kuro nyina ya hanu a wakombe o ha ne akiri nyema bebre koso na brabo mu nyina no wodi wadi yi o se bayi aboa no o se ye ni papi na nam a no secret societies awodo ma ye nim a o ma successful in life but inti sanity on de aboa ne papa bayi ne de on the abon pa nti so so we e benfu so person dey wan kasa e hihye oniema eyi but asipi. Okay, mom, are you here?
Yes.
Well, there's another question here for you. I think that will be my last question. Someone, elsewhere doing the lesson or watching, and maybe he or she wants to be part of the group. How could it be? Talking about initiation. You are in America, the person here in Ghana, Nigeria. How could it be? Talking about initiation.
Oh, that's a very good question. Right now, the initiation is closed for the year. It just closed. We have initiation every year. It is for 1 full year, just like if you were going to be initiated into, let's say, Yoruba, or if you were going to be initiated into Voodoo, or Santeria. It's 1 year initiation. You can do it from anywhere in the world, and that information is at our website at christianwitches.com, and you click on initiation. Now, because the initiation program just closed, because it opens only once a year. We only accept people once a year, and we start in January, and then the initiation happens in December on the winter solstice. We do it on a very special day because this day is a sacred day. The Christians know it as Christmas. They also know, the witches call it Yule, Y-U-L-E. It's the same thing. This is the time that we have the initiation. It is a very sacred time of the year. And we take the witches into nature, into the woods. We go out into nature, and we have a blood oath. They actually have to draw blood, and they do a blood oath. And we do other things in initiation that we cannot talk about publicly, that you only know if you become an initiate, just like all of the mystery schools. And we also have a circle which is open to everyone. So if you can't join initiation yet, you can come into the circle, and I'll put a link in the chat here, and I'll send it to you also, so that you can give it to people. It's free, it's open to everyone, and this is where we have our discussion, so that later on, if you do decide that you want to become initiated, you can do so. I'm going to put the link to it in the chat. How about that? It's open to everyone, and in there we have readings for the full moon. We do videos. We do a lot of training in there, so anyone can join it. And I'm going to put the link in the chat here in the YouTube chat. Anyone can use that link and join it. It's open, it's free, and you can be in there in this circle with us. It's our online home and community where we have our discussion, and then when the initiation program opens again, if they desire to join, they can join then.
Great, Rev. It's been an awesome conversation. So just stay here quietly and listen to some of the comments coming.
Baba,
read from the comment too.
Yeah, Reverend. Some of our viewers have questions for you, and this one is asking that do you see yourself spiritually more inclined than most of these Christian pastors that you see on TV, or you know?
Did you hear him?
Yes, that is an excellent question. Yes. Well, I would not compare myself to anyone, and I don't know anyone else's spiritual path. I only know my walk with God. And I know that my walk with God is very personal and very powerful.
Good.
And I know that I am here doing what God told me to do, and that is to help billions of Christians stop being afraid to come out of ignorance and judgment.
Good.
Okay.
And so that's what I do. So I can't really speak to anyone else, but I will say that I know that I am on my mission from God.
Okay. Now, Barbara also is asking that you said you perform blood sacrifices. So she wants to find out if you use human blood or animal blood.
We only use our own blood. So when we have our rituals, and I wrote about this also in my book, How to Be a Christian Witch. So if anyone wants to get the book, it's on Amazon, and you can read in there the entire initiation. And there are two ways that you can get the blood. Either you can cut your hand, and that's what a lot of witches do. That's why most witches have a knife, or we also call it an athame, or maybe a sword. And you just cut your own hand, and you can draw blood that way. And you can use your blood for many things. You can use your blood for spells. You can also use your blood for ink to write out a spell.
Okay.
And you can even save it if you put it in a tube and you put it in your refrigerator. And even though it will dry, you can still add a tiny bit of either alcohol or water to it later, and you can get it to be liquid again. That's one way to get the blood, is with a cut. The other way to get the blood, which a lot of us use also, if women still have their menses, you can use menstrual blood, because menstrual blood is very, very powerful for magic. And so a lot of women will collect their own menstrual blood and use that also in their initiation.
Wow. All right. So Francis also has this question for you. He's asking that, have you ever been contacted by any of these politicians in America to help them win their political
ambitions
or whatever?
Contacted by who?
Politicians. Said, have you been contacted by some of the politicians in America to help them maybe win
the political campaign?
Well, I have a lot of clients, but it's confidential, so I can't really tell you the people that I work with. I can tell you that almost all successful people, powerful people, people who are doing very big things in the world, I can tell you almost all of them use magic.
He's asking, he was being specific. He said politicians. He's not looking for names. Do you have some politicians as your client? Maybe they'll call on you to help them win maybe their seats as maybe senator or governor.
No, I don't work with politicians myself because I don't like the political system in America. So I do not give my energy to that. Yet I do know that they use astrologers and witches and tarot readers.
That's a good answer.
Okay, so this is going to be our last question from Daniel. He's also asking that, have you ever been invited to any church for some spiritual teachings?
Oh, yes. You would be surprised. There are many churches that are open to me speaking at them. I have spoken at many churches because people are starting to wake up and they're starting to understand that they were told a story that may not be true. And when they do their research, which everyone can do now because you have the internet, when they do their research, they start to see that something about the Christian story as they were told is not fitting together. It's not adding up. And when you start to ask question after question and you go beyond what you have been taught, which is what I really encourage people to do, you will start to find that what you believed is not so. And when people start waking up from Christianity, they call it deconverting or deconstructing. And now you see all of these people on YouTube, they're having these videos where they're talking about deconverting from Christianity. I deconstructed from Christianity because people are waking up. There is a great global awakening happening, and there are many higher order beings and spirits that are helping humanity wake up out of being in fear and out of being in religion, and to help them return to their spiritual roots. Yes, people do want to do that.
Good. We have a bunch of denominations in the world. So why choosing Christian witches? That's another question.
Oh, that's an excellent question. It's because when I grew up as a Christian from 3 or 4 to about 30, it spoke to me, Christ spoke to me, not the religion, Christ himself. So I have conversation with Christ all the time. Christ speaks to everyone if you want to, right? And so I always had a close relationship with Christ, regardless, irrespective of the religion. And so if you look at my YouTube channel, I have 2 YouTube channels. One is Valerie Love, Kaisi, where I teach about magic, and one is Christian Witches, where we teach specifically about Christian witches. On my Valerie Love YouTube channel on October 22nd of 2011 is when I came out of what they call it the broom closet and told everyone online, now people in my life already knew, online, that I am a Christian witch. And when I said that, of course the Christians got very upset, which, you know, you could expect because people are having their ideas challenged, right? Their beliefs are being challenged. Well, there were many people who said, oh my goodness, I felt the same way. I want that. I don't want to leave my Catholic church and I still want to do magic. I like my Bible and I still want to learn how to do magic from the Psalms, which is what we teach us. So we teach you how to do magic from the Psalms, just like the hoodoo practitioners do. I want to learn how to have Christ and my magic. And that's what we teach. So you'd be amazed at how many people are flocking to learn this. And some people just Google it and they find it and then they join us in the mystery school to be initiates.
Wow. So how do you comprehend backlashes from, other men of God?
Because they don't understand. And I will tell you something. Many of the pastors that have been to seminary, they know that the Bible is not the inerrant word of God. They know this. They learned the history of the Bible. They learned when it was put together, who wrote it, where they were. They know about the contradictions. They know about the church fathers creating Christianity over many hundreds of years. They know about the burning of books and the destruction of anything else that anyone else had to say other than what the Roman experience wanted, right? They know about all this. Many of the pastors will not tell their people because they're afraid of what the people will say. Yet the very courageous pastors will tell their people the truth, as I do, and will help them understand the truth about their own religion. And it does not mean that they will throw out Christianity. It means that now they'll understand it differently, and then maybe they will have a true spiritual path, not a religious path.
Wow. Interesting. Our time is almost up, and we're waiting for our take-home message.
Well, here is the message that I would offer everyone. 1, be willing to let go of what you have been taught when the proof and the evidence comes in front of you that what you have been taught and what you have believed maybe for your entire life is not so. That's number 1, because we have a hard time with that. When the more I discover that the things that I believed are just not so, they were created by humans, made up by humans. It was a very hard pill to swallow. It's very difficult. A lot of people have a very difficult time when they find out that these things were made up and hell was invented by humans. They have a very hard time with that. And I have a simple proof for you if you think about hell, because I did a whole series on hell on TikTok, and you would think that people would be happy to find out that there's no such thing as hell, that it was completely made up. But if you go to one simple example, you notice that if you read Genesis chapter 1 and 2, when God created Adam and Eve, he didn't say that if you eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, that you will die and you will go to hell and you will burn forever. Why not? If hell is the ultimate retribution, why is it nowhere in the first half of the Bible at all? It doesn't exist. It was made up by people. Now, people will try to fight that. They can fight all they like. You can't fight the truth. All you get to do is go do the research and decide if you want to believe it or not. But either way, if you believe something that's not so, you're still fooled. There's 2 ways to be a fool. One is to believe something that is not true, and the second is to not accept what is true.
Wow. It's been great, availing yourself to this program, and we're going to start it some other time from where we ended it today.
Oh, I thank you so much for the invitation to come. I thank you for over the years that we've been having these very good discussions. I'm so thankful that you show this to your people and that you put the truth out there and you have all these amazing discussions with people. So thank you for your work and thank you for the invitation. And many blessings to you.
Thank you. It is my pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Kwahu.
Baba.
Dia kofa ba no no. Awusanfo, ma me na wie. Wa wie bibia. O se dia wugidie no. E ya ne nyesa na tie. Na dia wunni mu no, e bia no na e no kore. Na ade odi gya kwan ade bunzam gem. Se no kore se bunzam gem wo ho, ai Yakobon de be hye a. Adam oni Eve de di kan ye bone. so mu kodi aduaba no anka so do betu gya entwa do ombe hyesa wanka sa asem endi bunzam gye ni ankrofo na kofa de be hye ho ntu bi bia wo ye moadri mu na ho eni yedi abefo nkomo se ma dwumani so kwaku efu ho bakin kan se bia man se ni
Dr. Ba etika Dr. Inka
ofi
oti
ai so so befo baba
obani
sa befo Ghana abusa fo so be ne Dr. Ba ko so bekasa eni obi obadwumani bia so befo Dr. Inka nwa kwa ba befo ba bunsam
ya ni mi tu
kwaku abusa fo na ma se so be Inka Andrew say se de kan kan no ye ne abenfo se de din komo ma kire biinu e de a kire mo na kwaku kura obi so de bai so ne politicians ye adwuma o so no pe politics into ne politicians nye den enye adwuma na mi busan sa asofo ne bi tata no o si asofo no mo kosem na sa hodo ne adin na obrochi mu o mu nyina misa bible no kura bi ani no kura mo mu ntimi nka ani na opa mu ka ehu nsem de mamana kabu papa wose enuro enhaban wa hai enyaba wose ni na ye nuro abaifo yusu ni na ntomo tete anhama ne nana so wote ya udwaru bi wo tu so regu benkum na anifa ni na na e wode kire wose tini unumu mu afi na nana yi no de gu toilet mu aflash Ghana ha yebi obi ko yi tia no asesa na de no de ko wose ni pa bebra ye yi se tam omo bi asoro na akata omani omo boa se sa nyema we nyina nti obi tete ahaba tete ndubna men ye wadwe se kwa ye bondi se doctor ma me naka ya ni yi nka bedi nkomo wo ye oba untimi wo be ma untimi wo be ma asipo je se koko mankani tuatua woto yare wanusu ye wusi oba cancer na hawo ni na no yinka betimi abo wo kuma se de che so Obey Assemblies of God Church in Chawope. Yinka was say, Kwaku, Yinka number no, fire number Samiako. Kwaku
number ni
Kwaku by 45
0547 305 886 0547 305 886.
That's it. Yinka Bongo mu fa hodi mu odin abenfo di tu bongo mi ago mu
de na ya di tu ni na me de bo ogom sisi yi mo ebusuafo mo ni team sabri no kwasem se ebe Yinka Herbal and Spiritual Center for a said you munim na dada no an said you munim na dada no tie baby ya see ye no no ye signboard no na see Assemblies of God asondan na enchen nemum aseye ni di ni kwan no ho edi fa wo ba hye honma ye signboard no di cham so asore inkwanta ho no ye signboard no enisi ho entity wudu signboard no ho a gina ho frey na ye mefa nkwadwom ebia na ye mufo nkwakram yade otwini ni otwini ku ye adwuma o Take FM, Force FM, Insira FM besi ne anu ni ye no ye kasai ye buso ye adwuma enti woni ne dada enye ne enti se wo tiemi na yare bi na da wo so yare bi na etete wo no fo na ahono wo no fo na ahono pai aye kuro tutumika ne fo ni kire na so ye o kire no papa 7:30 na mata za me ye adwuma papa mami me ba me wo fa se me na esewani na nse o ka kire de adwuma bi na da no fo mu de no fo mu na ye o yakeke de mu ne tutuo de so ko ne po aye no fo na ba na ekawuram ni nyina ye dwuma dia wo be piem e wo Yinka Herbal and Spiritual Center for ya so ya ba hwene ya boa wo amwa de ho yare biara e ba wo bi ni problem e wo honam fam no wo sunsun fam no obi betimi ato yare ne dia ma wa na yi enunti na ye see ye deal with both physical and spiritual problem. And say ebia na wo yare na wo de ba no wo de kira na ntia bre entia na wadwe ye say etrenti na so be se kotobe kire e ba ne sa enyi enunti bra me nchen na ye mpewa ha wo poma se bra ma wo de so kwa che no na wada de muntumi nkontumi ba de ni de prostate enlargement de ni de prostate cancer de ni de cervical cancer ni nyina mututu mitafu mani kira so yo bema wa yemre wo mpam na wuntumi mo adwuma bema wo bema ni sa bebi ya wotwika wo se bema wo join it breko fan club no ya guru na
echiwa
asemkese na beto abra yinka heba spiritual center for your say be ma wupa ye be wupa amna so wuntin na yintin na dwuma wuntin na to ntin no entina ye mere nya be so eja na so na to ehwa ma se de ba bu kwasia ye gu no ba gi ba bi abeja e so wo pa yare no pa se bra pa dia eye yinka herbal and spiritual center for your say wudi ye mojabro so wudi ye sitre ya de wudi ye glaucoma wudi ye trauma anasa abo obroni fe ni $6 wudi ye koko ene tua woto setire ni bitumikare fo ni kira so ye ho awo na wo pe ba ma wi so na agene oba woni ba ma hia na iso na afa ba bonten oba woni nsan na afa ni moje tu ka wi se no se me number me di ye twuma eye ba ko pe me number a me di ye twuma e ba ko pe me di tu gama tini me personal contact no eye 05 47 305 886 05 47 305 886 this should be 05 47 305 886 wa wanya bororia anababaso na treni pedini mu wache na ma obema mu pieso ama obema mkikawo ama obema na efan etima fanfa bi na begugu bema na mu na papai na eko mu abonse na ma obema na ese de sink no obema no sutia na eti utumi kiri ho awonti afi eno ne ye ka kire se ni nyina no fa bra bedan yen wo ye oba wo fi so bi gu yayaw sebi etoda na friend kura na begugu oba na wase etoda wo bi wa mu wase e me kire ye point no sebi professor ka fa che sebi yenyado obo fi so bi begugu to ka yenya basa wenu mu nyina ye sexual transmitted disease e ye nemu fa ya dia hodo awo transfer wo kire bi enam so betimi ma empo wo kima besesa eto oba kane no utumi ya bra musumi sorry lenson nisia eneswot abamani na nsa na etwa nani na nsa na etwa obi kro wa betimi edi be 3 months no nya brada ona wanyem enya hwe tutumika na bra ye nche no ntenase sa yare egonu ya na baso no betrawo so a na trawo so chepa wi fi betimi afam enti senka bosumi beso na oba we see now what taking moja na benani na attaining into different processes no that be it's about na tarabia tare afu na no nkosoro ade che na wo mu se wonyam ade che che wo mu se nyaba eno na meka che so brane anyi waduro ma enwan tom na wo afu ni tumemra soro na woni fa bo so nko enwa bofra no
Mudase abusuafo yinka Dr. JB ena yene mebo enkomo ewo Kumasi BBC Atinga Junction wotenenka Facebook live Kumasi 104.1 FM ochuloko kamame YouTube so owo Kumasi TV anaso ochuloko TV TikTok so eyo ochuloko TV eno daso fefefe no open akiri akwan a owo Kumasi dichem so oben Assemblies of God Church ho oye adwuma da ya signpost nisisi wo no oba na no fo ene ya no for bakwa ho sin baako no de akire kwan ni na emu kire se no fo nko ahoduma na oye emu kire se no fo no pe oboa oso hu oba atwa no fo na ano bo modin na bra mema na maye mre no koko puma woto ohunam wani ohunam taaya wo hene obi awayi uti bibia be fun watiko bibia funo wa funo ho ewa na pai na meja aba ewa asewu ni nyina oba obetimi aboawo ama bibia so atimi adan kama ne number no som naji number ni hia ebi amatika mu ebi kura akọ mpra bi ho na upie ene ya no mpra akọ ebrego fan club ya binu koko fan club ebisu ya gunu sanetie ya chiu suma sako fan club bia obedam na meka kire wo je number no
number ni 05 47 305 886 05 47 305 886 05 47 305 886 opusu homa wei ebra masori a won sabe kan enkomo bi obia ya no betwetwa fa so problem awo no ehwan
abusofo na yeguso ye ni yinka doctor ene bonkomo no da bia woka o se yare no de edin no wo de mo fan trauma no de emre no na de edin na obi akwa wontimi wakoma bre no mo de no bre no enne fe ni yinka enne din ase no munyi de beka no mo fa bre no doctor ni nyamo omo ye nan oka ho nim meni wunya na ya adwuma no mu na shias ni tuyi ama Dr. JB asese kura na odi adwuma enye sekan enye blade enye panie enhaban enubuna enusi na ye adwuma echen konya me se me kanfo wo de ma mo anu free sunyane eba odi owo ba na bedu so folan ya o so pe kai ko de chem so odi plaza busa obi ase ope Assemblies of God Church ho ope Dr. JB Yinka obi anyinu se o fa yin bobu anu na beba wan fa krofro mu a o ba odi oba immigration ho odi busa akwala be den ebe chiro se ufi buo kro na eba otra airport runabout na do ani a chire krofro ana do ani a chire yin bobu anu ufi aboabo amaga enkran be bia na ba for ani chire ho airport runabout wo se o ko Assemblies of God in chen ho e ho na Dr. Yinka sign post ni si ho mi si Yinka wo de sign post no ko de yifi wadum yesi number ne je me person me power free ha na ba fe modi me ba che na metimem na me fere me be ma se sia no me didi watem na me ka kire wo yo ba ba bia wo tin number no e da wo kura pe bidie na twro infutro mu kura twro ho me pepe na twro me do wo ntina me de number no den e ma wo no doc number no
is 05 47 305 886 05 47 305 886 05 47 305 886 opusu mo we bra ma sorry a on sabe kame okay channel pa my 7:30 na transfer ni yatwuma
okay
the official ba bia no on kan ho obale line no wa aduso because me ana transfer na mi yatwuma fi channel pa ko fi bra ma sorry en fa woni se de o ha woni tie bi otwi so stroke na kan nipa na to fom we bi won timi nyon so mu kwasha na roba otwi eye 30 minutes na ye na gwa na do so e wa so ye ho we bi yefune ye ya obonyam obufa so okay eye 15 minutes ye funya de ni na beko
e be control case
sanity eno na make kire obi bia wo tim fabre de ne ye twa ya de okay eye under 1 minute e twa oba fin won no fie ma bi so him ni no ni pie abu fam a enya fam ketwa okay de tension no ni so no eye 24 hours e tare ni matu e ya mama enti obi bia wo program wo twa tutu kana famra
brase donc my number ni ko de twa to be e ja wo kwan na wa ni ame
my number ni e 05 47 305 886 05 47 305 886 okay yare biara ha wo bi say yesu fam say ye hunam fam otutu bi kan fa bra badan oba fe de tibia ye be pen na sibrama no
that's it abusofo Dr. JB ena otraining kan Yinka Kumasi de chemso oben Assemblies of God Church ho signpost is so ban no for ahono yare bia ha obi ana ochina wo transit mi kan ko abusofo amoye mako edu abusofo de bo nipa 10 ambeko no o hwe free ni na meka mu abusofo mu bo medu na mo ba wo hwe free we are nipa thousands number mu kwa free we are nipa 2000 number mu kwa free kwa ko ba ifo
ba gogo za so
kwa ko za so bi yin sai din kwa mu ya so ba kin kan ji so we ne
ya ye ne di
ya guess na trust
pa chawa tinasi ko kakra bi
ya guess na trust kakra
na afi
Pastor Mike kwaku ni sa samba Prince apie asamba
no ma ho Pastor Mike
yo media
enasumi hunu ba media twemu ye naja
senka me no wanka na chia no simple na siso
Pastor Mike wadaro ma we chia from Kumasi to America
said ya wosi aba na go pon na bo asa me nko
Kwame Anel Kasema po ma good evening
me je me so America wen
or from Dubai.
Oh, America, that's it.
And Regina Buachi Yadom.
Yeah.
So they love emoji.
Oh.
And our boss for Dodo.
What's with them, Dodo?
9 million.
Hey, my wife.
My
wife.
Aye.
Wow.
The best. Also, common course no.
Yeah.
At Tramno.
Wow.
I feel Kingsley Poku se be you Pro Max.
Kingsley Pampa so New York Wate. Make sure.
But I said that Chiao.
Make you Kingsley.
Amankona. I say wonderful day. Uchunuku Masuya dear pa.
Wow.
And at Nuruddin and so.
Oh, the boss.
Yeah.
All colors are.
Mampon Badu. Hey father. About 4 pa and some we are seeing. I feel so. Okay. Designer titles.
Okay.
I say papa. I know see my voice no from Yeshasi and he said the Otine Kama. You beat my also.
That's sick. I was so fun of walking kind of. What time are you saying?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Oh, wow. 5 o'clock. Now, your commercials are quite crowd.
Aye,
okay. And I mean, my guest and I come on. Oh, you know, Mababa.
Yeah,
let's say, maybe I'm a Croatia check.
Papa. Impome and I'm sorry.
Maybe I'm a call. What woman is so my means and a casano from woman is so man a minimum for. Now, I'm Posano. I was not for many a penny be so ebe bo and come baby I will be an before soon whoop and moi or no the benigro near Tiabro needing come what by some worker the boys and now cut salon new team quancha baby and I will go tea the name basa je broni or canoe new zima nanaji or the atua di no flash neco will be angry and fan sanka I had you bako no san ti ofie yam ade be tire ti ni gugo ensem se basa da bia mun sem be brebe asofo nso ni tricks ni no mo nka no hu esie akra me mo akwa ba yo wana ro ba wudi
ya feme bofo no say no so feme Francis Osu ko Facebook a me wo papa
yo Francis
ni baby ara wo net niso
yo odumi na ba
no fiesu ya feme kwakusu e didn't person from and feme bafo na me anam tia no asare bafo me no wada ma unfie no kwani mbese mfie adusia mensa
63 okwaso mfie sei
asori de meka say fimi nkola buru na ma me de ye kwasori na me nyiye no me ma so da kwasori but me kotina nkan na me kwasori pa say am shase o Grace Baptist
okay
and chekura na me konkran so me to aso St. John's Baptist
okay
actually na me call friends but I'm a kwasori friends Living Bread Kutubali police station
okay
me feel on na assembly si ntie mame na pese me hu ensem wo hu fa me ma hu ntie me ko opanyi bi wo ne fe kwasi ansa se won ti ase
on cry
bonus police station the fe on be say kutubabi
wanti kutubabi wa
bi asori ni wo abuso kan double down building
okay
Fred conscience say le on tiase
nti ho na sha se uhwe sunsun
ho na me ko ya me hu mu ade pa
good they said if you say sem na working
start ebe ye 2000 the year 2000 and I'm sure
if I say in fear do me ensa that's it
why ade pa
in fear do me ensa a wo kwa sorry na sabe mo mfia aduanan 40 years
exactly
na se sia no so mu sha se obahwehwe hu ni ade ni mfia aduanu mensa e ka ho a 63 years se aka mfia nso na mfia nyakopo de ma nipa no wadu ti se le baka se o ye national service akohia obofo mfia aduanu mensa wo de yesunsu hwehwe mu na hyase na te sen mfimfini te sen na ni nyina mu mfia aduanu mensa die no hu na hin na ugina sesi twamfo ni kire me dase
open you dase pa de oni nyane se fini nkoda brembo kin finsi aduanan no ma hu bibia ma anti bibia fa me ho na me hyase wo Jesus connection me bompa ya akodu be se fa se afi ba ko pen na me hu fresh se Kristo Yesu ni na kompon chamani soms edebeni awo I say e wo sun na me tie ne bi say de otwa mu no nim na me si da bi
no say Erade. Tifi on na many shas say bui. Jesus connection no bia o tie mi se sia ya o nyimel. Da bia e be kwa sori no, e be yi chira e de ne pa wa sori dem. Yi chira kese fa Ghana mine ni ame ho ni wiase ho. Akopim say me feel Jesus connection amanko obi na me ba Kumasi ya. Me ba Kumasi so 13 years now.
To ba Kumasi so nkwa sori bia.
Ti say dia me nkwa sori.
Okay. You say no se de usi kire me mfie aduanu miensa emu enie. Na wo ye hwehwemu no ano. Wo ye hwehwemu mfie du ewo nkran. E na ba Kumasi so mfie du miensa mu enie. Ye kasa emai na bomu a se na usi hu wiase. Em se na o tiaboto na me ma na ba fo ni dingo.
Me tefa.
Nso wo nya gye wo na abofo mu se ya se wo de ni die mu a ye sua de o madaroma ye sua de enye bi mu asem ene ye ka obi a wadwon ye bia ne papa yi wanyini wonya kwada na bra bo mu asem ena oka omo obi adin ma mo nyina no ensi bone omo sofu bi adin bone so oso no ko Baptist Church o Kumasi no ya ba mu a okọ boda mu akoma sori okutoba bi ofe no ko Jesus connection prayer ministry connection no ko eno fi oba Kumasi no ko asori bi abiem safe no adwani ho no kodi me pa cho sen fi aduani mi ensen ya wo ye hwehwemu no sen no si hu wiase we say what wiase ase foforo ana na ya bra ba yetimu a ye boy no se de hu Yesu na hu Yakopon hu twa wani so in a flash no ya bra ba ye bo no pepepe ya kwan so ane nam ahemanu bi ho esu bi ho
se je
ejamu ho
wiase de no wani si aprotite
wiase asei
aprotite se enipa hu won tiase honam so de omu ani gise onbeye onbesisi emu na bia ni ye pa ma hu na bia na okra ni de juma mu didie enyenyenyenye owu kra onfa obu kra obo eja kra lo bu mu ani kra bu mu a onfa honam so de amu penti
se meto wasem yi a wase yi a nipa pe honam ni niema material things
no
dam omwan kasakra onso ni nti so ba ton ne kra no na ode enye wiase japade no wo ne kra ope se na wo wiase se
university
okay
ti akra de apro
okay ese di nje ma nkwa sori bi mu
nti am nkwa sori eni se na me Jesus connection se me ni group ni na yebo ni yebo mpaya na eje bi tutu hihim ti se eje yebo eje mu bidieje
report metitim
na no nima de ko ti e ko so a e bi wo atimi hie ya pa
e hye wa na se hye mu
e hie kasa me vidie
no nko a
me se me ni obi die me nko a me die na kai ti ade no ko so a ko tumi ko pum se me hu papa no a me ko ne nchen no
sofo pani
se de otie wo honhom
na
me hu se de otie na me se de bi ha me we na me jipa pe di pa so entisa
na am ja sorry
na me ja sorry
na de me tutu hihye no obo sofo pani amane se ye bom pa na bi tutu ehihye me
oh papa ni de na me ni di nkomo pa ben sa nsema na koso no brabo mu
ontinya
kan ka che fi se me se ye pon aso ya na me ko fia every day bia me bom pa ye throughout night
tuma bona mane da
na me ni na kan wasem
ade nti no wa bona mane sa de no
enu de meeting nti fi se na kwa ti se esoro ho na me won me obi a me yi chi bibli na me tu ba bi na ma ji me wodi se de me na kumpon ene Kristo Yesu atimi mu a kire obi a me hu bit me hu se ya itimi hu ade a e fa so koso e fa ho
de be so chima
de itimi na bia menka misumisu ma menka nchira woda me itimi no atena menka de koso nchira woda so me hu se wo yo hwan
na so adenu so no obi wa sorry anama na obi ti okotoba bi ho awunya no yi kire bi a wanka ebe mu eye wuo ana oseyi amadwuma seyi
onu ni nchira ma nchira de ye mfa free ale hu ndi se de asamuti me obi a na me nyimu ana ba sa na me hu ye de eye me yam se me ni pa na me kura me ti bi se na sem sa wa so wo ni me obi a oso na me free oso ba sa so Nyankopɔn na said that me pass so say we mo di dwuma nti e wo
me tiase na me kosa no nya no me kire say we no nya na e di nkan no na utimi yi ni pedu wasem
na me ka bebre na me ka
na mo fa
saa no na hanyo so mo fa me benya hotan
so na bam
na wo se wuni ni o che da wu ya na bibia no me so la me se wuni o ya me ka chiro
nti o ka kire ni pa no so ebam ebi adwuma sey ye
enya sa
ebi ya
de o de ni kra ya na dum
en wasem na wo ka
na me wu pa so for it
but se bi no nya bi ewu en adwuma sey ye
ewu no mo chiro ewu ọmọ ankasa ọmọ tìmí ẹni ni gyina sẹ wọn ní mẹ ẹ gyina do and die ẹhyẹ aseɛ máfọ nka ẹ nìyà.
o sè.
ìwé yìí ní sinmi nǹkan.
náà nǹkan no màtí mi dá sẹ kwaku kankan fẹnsẹ yẹn tún adìyẹ.
Star Reform Health Center ẹwọ Abrepọ Pentecost School Junction ma ọvi fast food nhwẹ ni mo pẹ ẹna ẹ maame wa odi ne dwuma na ẹ a ọtaa kakyɛ ho sɛ nnuanunu ahodoɔ no nyinaa ɔde bi aba sɛ ɛyɛ fibroid na ɛha ɔmogye tu a ɔmɔden afa namba a mede bɛto dwa yi na frɛ na ɛ maame ntimi mboa saa kwan no so fallopian tube no mu asisi esi wawɔ ho kwan ma ɔmɔden afrɛ saa namba sa mede bɛto dwa yi afei onipadua no nnuane ahodoɔ a wodi efia ahodoɔ wɔ nipadua no nyinaa wɔ nnura onum bi ebetuma aboa detoxify nipadua no nyinaa efi no nyinaa bepia aba ama wanya wɔpɔmɔden ti frɛ saa namba so yi na lifestyle yɛntimi mboa 0208 47 8686 0208 47 8686 your WhatsApp number is 0244 974 135 0244 974 135 na Eja Abraham ewo ohwim saa kwan no so a Eja Abraham say onam yade na hawa ene wato odi bomodi abra nam yade betuma tena wo so wache ebema wo chinkase nyina be ya wadwene be se bia o mattress na ye wo saa na ye nam yade ulcer na hawa bomodi abra odi no diabetes a Mr. bomodi ohwim ha ya na Eja Abraham wa odi ne dwuma nufom kokuram nyina no ye papa timi boa itu ase ye number no 0549 101 580 0549 101 580 and 0242 764 835. Before call Spiritual Herbals, Spiritual Awareness Center, Spiritual Awareness Center, Ewoye Pankrono Heya, Kodua Junction, na humu asimbiano, or the bar, Maharaj, Papa, a bit mabuana, where you saw how so at the few so say, ya dear, a Juma Sema, Quentu Sem, we a football episode, Bobo Konkai, na Wabraboni Su Ye dia, make for Spiritual Awareness Center, the amount, for number way 0543 012 186 0543 012 186. Baba, is what they call a FEAC power specialist.
Me da super busuan for na me do call a power specialist. Herbal Center. Ho ene haban enubna e diagro nya simkuma. Obi akompere so duru a mam ye duya away bas. E yiri na afi wo dia mam. Bomodin na fo ni cho ye ben Josbro gas station nchen FEAC Lake Road mam ye duya ne papa duya e ho no mo ene no beduya e ho ene no mo bra ni nsa wo yare awo na wo hia so ye be ma so yo ba fibroid ne da wo yam away bas nyama gugu hu na mani away bas wa poso ye wo ya away bas hepatitis pa the whole Ghana on wa jimu award ukonwa hepatitis award awaji wo mu ne hwe no enya asemkuma baabi awo bia wachinchi wanante abre brebo kokuram for ani kire wo ye moduro ya yini nyina eden afiri wo mam ya duya power specialist Lake Road Bomodian Nebra Anaji Estate Takrade Enkra susu Ashoman Estate udu ACP nofa benkum no frosoro awe bas wadu mam ya duya Ghana fo na so mo da wase e da wase ensa ya nhia wa enke beden se men nhia mame jimutu piawo number ni
number no 0244 544 422 0244 544 422 and 0200 38 3831 0200 383831. Yama me say WhatsApp number when me fan count is 0555 797878 0555 797878. Baba making kind messages. Jeff
Pastor Mike Boston and Massachusetts. I want an American. Was in Saka gloves, would be in some fan type. Or good is on the book. Kwaku, I want Abano. So what the must see Yaso. Now the chia dear say or more chia dear away. Them can say both fruit and buffalo from me. Bibi I actually dear match. So also I want to free them not to be see about the next 5 minutes. No, I want to be a block. I want to do the same. Me man match na maka. Move on, Pastor Mike. Bye bye. Go to us. Open you.
Papa.
Isaka gloves would mean
Udi agura assembly.
Uko kromba na otade say nekutawo. Nekura na ewura dem a ate. Be sa ni kageti am won say nekurawo. Wa ya ate.
Wow.
Ate atotu awono.
Jeff James, papa opo abaso no wajuma pa.
That's it.
Akopo show and crew digina.
O you should do JJ.
Jeff James J.
Bay. Triple J. With an assay.
And Coleman McCarthy.
Okay.
Or say, Papa, thank you for your good work.
With an assay.
Nana Dupako Isaac. With all my kind, Madame forgive you. And Amanda Dupako, Amanda Dupako. About say,
Nana Paco, so you're not child. Ah, I don't know Paco. I don't know because I am marveled. I say, what do you know? Now, why the step kakra? Also about biblical quotations now. I mean, Valerie. Some books me now, but I'm not already. I say, Papa, Boba, so Juma Papa. Then I say, Dostik Zavi Thomas. Gosh. I say, Papa, on my good day. Now, I say, was one team in Casa de Yama Mecano. On team Gina Chini. Yes. Now the message you for your bro for you to never. Or see now you swear they say they out I can. Or say Kingston say about or say a serious issue pow. Very dicey. Yes. Yamea do no mean in Tiasi. Oh, and cereal a war pepper and so say or hell live. Patrick Echampon as say or hell live about. Part me that CP na ye 518 no problem you be saba chukwa na you be saba abusu for Facebook live wa utie nkomoda da na de ne ye nyapani edia ne nyina betimi do messages na den aba na mo amabruchi na what see koso no titru mikro mo hwemu yi awono wanwe komu kakra bi na ubenya pneumonia na no kra de say you declare state of emergency umpia bonte so mo nyina nyibi ne hia pa wo hwefie edi mo mo so mbekwa bruchi on TikTok Louis it was say Reverend Valerie Christian which is for no obetimi enyomo Ghana hana and they just wona yina no obetimi Ghana na say Ghana say they say very difficult say and na make na Ghana unti ko bie nko anu ka say me before you be say wa boaku Ghana what make say wa before never entimi nsi entimi say me busa no o say America ban yeah ewo organization as a society a sankrofoni na oniwure me bi CIA for ni ade uze last local center FBI for me dentini obi okun obi ni ade na ma mena kan nyina no was what them remote review what them we say in terms and no ani e ka kwanfa so mkokum Osama bin Laden yeah easy sir so very good because number Obama interview enanajo yeah okobo golf no onim itiba no interview bu say na say no onim say FBI for Pakistan na mukokum akwana na ana so no mo dan location e require military base into amount say ono awon dey oti o ti ase and na ono okobo golf into ba na better na TV ho into that time e da so mo say time say an operation e be den e be start into ono we be alive into the business of bonnet man no say na nim into mo nya no spiritual world nim I have police for me so that for na ade nya no and somewhere nti nipa no ko wo sa on so so bu sa me se na me kwa me jinya me di o da isa
o se na no fika se
and o jinya me di o re ni so o duro o tu ni na sa na magene ye mu ni na na ewu ko
aba team Eric so help free Romania
ona re
nti also watch ya Onyankopon hira wo pa na onu team ni na Onyankopon enyo
wo nkronkro so ni nya no eni manka wo nya nka mo de mo number sabada ko ni afra mo ni enu mo di nkomo Ghana fo pa kwanturo na ye wu ba bia se ko ni ba bia ni kwanse den ye kro misra mo a
abobi so wo multiple spirit
oseme o de ni na ye
na eje Finland
o na se ni kwa Yesu a wonye no quadruple na ye
and okay intima I say wisdom man nyamisha na ochia
ma me na ko shia very interesting character 2019 na me ni Asia ye ko abenfo Asia mu ba bia na Pentecost for so ye Asia mu o ma dwa pass abenfo mu ye conference Easter and a Christopher so ha ye Ghana ha ko ba babo yen
akomuntia
nsusu onzo abibi ankoso onye ma ba so mi eni nkogo aha
Genti a me wa ha no se me boni nya to fa se be ya boni se de besi abusa kasi
a na etiti o
de we mu se o man ya yetimu Ghana we o mo kan se bi se Ghana ni Israel na prekeso se wa wi ya o nti sa
no ye nkwasi akeka
u de ma nchi
ye nkwasi akeka se Ghana ni Israel na prekeso we president
de nti a o mo kan sa no mo pa kire se Ghana ni Israel na ye o man ya Onyankopon yi wa man nyina mu a osoma na somafo eba ebedi ne dwuma no saa na Ghana fo no asema mo kan asechire na me ye emu ba ko nkola domu
ya asomafo ni bi
nkola domu na o hu ne a me nim enti omo ye se omo betena me so na ni mission ti a me ba asase so amaso my mission is to come and take every kingdom ever give from the beginning of this world, from Adam to this day. Imagine free nipan sema also. Tina odin basa so. Nti wiase we no omu nti omu pese omu tina me so akopom se saa de no ma me be yen enya adwuma nti owo me no omu je mi fi Yakobon sem se awen anasa yen se omu yan na omu ran mi ekodu se me mission time be so mission time so yen omu ye se anka omu be bremasi na me no maka omasi na mantimi anye eduma no se me gina kontekro se obako pe editi awiase ni nyina ti omu ye no me nyina na omu ye se me ma ye wiase do ti edon a omu ye me no wiase nyina ba me so da bia me ba me no kasa no se ma nkyere mu saa ma wo anti ase ntina ase ya nkasa ansi na me sorry wiase nyina ba no so ni me konfie du film efiri krame kokuma se omo ntimi na me twu wo nyina ho so omo ya de no a ho so no me nam se ni omo kasa kire me se me no di nkomo yesu me hu bi anka no
ensema na wo de se
ho so ni me kasa
ensema mo ka wo tene bi ni sen
jumadi bi a omo die no omo kasa no omo se omo kasa wo na omo ka na ensem no omo ka no one fan serious o because me fan se mu communicate me se we se mu na mo
se na wote me de ne akoyese wo de no me nam a de me ti o me masu efi nkwara be na me mpem kwase asem
enye ni se nipa brabo a ye
bua nipa de me de me ka je so me ti masu me mpem kwase asem bua nipa obi wo kire na bua no wo me enu a fa ba ko bi ma obi e ma onyanko wo nkire no e ma obi wu bra wo ahodi abetinya bua no
na ntwa so de esi ye ne se Kristo Yesu na ko yi no ho di kire me no wo ka kire me se me mompa ye ngie akrai wasase so nyina ana ewiase no so ye se me se me baji akrai nyina fi Satan se mo Satan no wo no Satan baby a wo se nipa wu bi mu Satan se wo 1000 years imprisonment obi a o se wo ho ntima me ka sa me sere obi a o se wo ho bi wo ye be for se o hu Satan me te ya on fe no nkasa na me chen baby a Satan is an serpent no watching our na chef fiase for 1000 years to come.
He said what you no go so ya na say
my dear yes so pon no wi
ji say ka de na so ye
de tie ni say enkunu a me di ye no omo yimba kwa himself he say me jina control
mama you
yes na me won enipa bi maako bi a ase no ye me nanfo no na busuafo no omo ho na because me ye full gospel mission to enquire sorry me dey say the bia me bompa ye every day 24 hours me bia me tibia me gene bia me bompa ye me sane de no tie free osoro de no tie free me honhom de no tie free nipa ho me ni nipa no ayeko na de onu say omo ede obuka say omo yakopon si akan say omo de ni ko face Leviathan the Leviathan in the sea na sa Leviathan no na watena Ghana crude oil I think na sata no mpani ko phone na wo na wakra ana me yakopon de me mama you ko sea ekukun Leviathan me de skanta won won ma so ne ni ye kokko na ba bia crude oil no ho ye deep bracket ho nyankasa unye ba ma ukwa umma kra no umma ho nyankasa enti ship no ko deep baby oil no and am kwachiro ali say radi baby a ni kon de ho na ship no san ye e ni be see Accra baby a for say Cocoa Face butan bi ho e no gateway to Africa butan you ya wo ni wo fa hu say ya na wo ko opunu down e wo what say Accra what say la body beach one ufa butani ho a eno gateway to Africa no spiritually heavy work pa ahomoni se me koso wiase nyina no Ghana hase na na head Ghana we na
ntino sese ya no se le wasi adi o so ye yuba kuma ma wono o man ya yetini ehin fa ne yaduru ehin fa ne ekọ ye yobu ho ma ma we ehin da so ho
so man ni se me kasa di da so mu wa mbo so man ni pemu fo o mu nya me ni fo le botia me ni fi Ghana ha me si wo ha mo ni bebo no so me kachi wa ha ma bawunya me kan ye beto aba no first one me fro bawunya on Facebook no ba no kachi papa upese hunam so upese uko aban akonwa so se udi nkunu no nya me no kase hwema sema me and I say dear now let me say in someone they be every day in spiritual divine vision divine heal every day be and person someone meeting me dey call afidie so na obi atibi daily until almost radio access and of share me say obi dey join whatever my friend enti ne bo message ni yesem bisene na me tie ne se bafu enfan ka ba yakufa ko asem che ba woni ameka che na apena oboko no ma me chimbi me ye samira ba me chen woni ame ba me obeka ba me chen kan ko ben my from live on Facebook my church my life Facebook visions no my true big Facebook omun kai everything as I say the me no video say me ma me semwa o na e come di me fani me ajuma na me ye no I said obi an share me ni ala me jama baba to say
so one na wo ye o ye ajuma o CMB so so ko ajuma o ko discount se me ngi kan sa me no nya de me ko aso ti o me nya so bia me ntimi na me kan say wo sema wo kan na beta so
na ma o ma nya pot say personal company anyone you discover how you say the other one for say turn oil from and you are minimum ma omuni so say we on say buafu me clean buafu a bunenu could you do no omudi afidia ko say omu ko discover sa de no anya me na kompo ya me ko challenge sa ho na ho ko omudi say de na America no omu twa muja anasa omu twa gan sa gan nya nipa say ko twa gan anasa na timaye you say nipa na omudi ko twa gan no spiritually nipa na open no buku so just say e di ni ko ya no mi ni na ya yaba ni eba no ma fa oil no ni enti buafu de no ti ya no me se me ko onu di discover onu di video ko o de o pa check check one net and so check na
say masa so na oboga na 40 modi
say Ghana for pa and for me
and I make say o man no do
bisa ko le o friend me fa from any free
anya hwe say o man no do
fa from
me say o man no do Yesu ba na
wa mi timi ja me ma
Yesu no na mfo boja no ma me papa wo John the Baptist Peter wo simpia wo ja na mi
anya hwe ko an de ma ya ho ma to ma we ntimi ma me baby na ntimi ma me am ka so the abofo na me chua krata ko ma Cosmos campaign e wa kra
oh mo na
billions of life my bro life we call baby ani research ani wo office airport ko ma bonu say sa oil no to spiritual means I provided because purpose in because our friend we are simply friend purpose in you or by Jesus Christ we can say Ghana bit me na oil na so we send us to the black Christopher no bomb pile and ko pa na call e ko see the choir sa den na oil by purpose in you friend
na purpose say so no we no do adwuma ko agu
na adwuma
ko adi
and very for no
phone ko oni bi
o man na
Jesus say I don't know to bar for the idea of my home.
Oh, I don't know. Yes, I mean, percentage.
They said you what's my working name? One pound I would die to us.
I come and penny value. This one is penny for me, and money penny for me, money for me, or my money. Obiaswa, million mobile, or Mina o ti fi ede mi ti ni jo ni o ma sun ti jo enu di o jo bi amabo ti ma ko o
bi amabo o so ma mi no je chinye wa una si na mi asoma wo Yesu ba no ma ni ska bi enju
o ti o ma ni ba
dabi
mi na ni ba o mi ya ko ba
mi no nya ga ni di nkuni e wo ni je na kire se wo bi ko di akan e na wo di nkuni e na wo na ko wo ni ji o
se omu person ko ya essence omu person omu di meni mema e kwekwe sacrificial e masa great demon no munya oil enti e ba omu sine fa na kupon fa me no a me na kupon tin no asaso fa no enko
ma kaza
omu
mpani fo ben
asem ya american ndesi me body oyo hunu oyo mampani oyo minister oyo saso me kan
asema kan me mini nya agene ne baby aso ka ho me de ni se misua de fifi mu na so ma wo kan de ase bibi ntua
ana dizo ti o ti se me ka se me bodi ya ebi ni se o se o mo panyin o ba no o se bo se o ba o be free education o ba e no o me yile wo ye o ni si wo se atwede na afro committee se wono Nyankopon wo ye bomofo tie Nyankopon Nyankopon ko committee so ade Nyankopon ho mo so na nka che kufa sifon pa upa afro no ka che ho sifon ni so se ya no sifon
kufa sifon
o sifon mo
ka che no
ka ya pa na ni se be hwi film se ko ye o ma me che bi nto ni me die si me die si
kufa do
ni na ku nkasa me se me kasa
no o kufa do ho wani
ọmọ mpanyin bia no wọ́n bomofo tia wọn kumpum ọmọ ministers ni na ọmọ ya bomofo tia wọn kumpum ọmọ ya kan nti ni pass spiritual ọmọ tipa ọmọ wu sisi a
nti sisi no wo kan ni na afu a ọmọ ayin fa ni gina bani da so
ọmọ ayin no mi so ọmọ fa no so ko Nyankopon no mo nya sisi de mi na kan ekom de mo so na kan
mate de ekom de tiase kwaku kenkan dia woni mo phone asin tum
abaye ko phone line
ekom de ni no kan
mo abusafo dia wana tum dia ko fa bana no ene dwumadie ni na ba bia peso wodi be fa bia no ya bia phone asin atum ya ja ni nyina ama mo yesua de questions ne answers kwaku obi dia ba oso se ya yehu madam love no onye visa ma no
ni ya bu sire
enya wo obi dia o kan no onye de 0249130064 0249130064 hello
Osi
ye tenta bianko
Osi ma jwe
me da se
na master itu me kata fikafo
me da se
Osi so adi weni so
sasa
so wadi weni so
ya be 40 na muku wo mo
wo
so wo se ti anu me ba so hu
enya wo so no ka o o kana se bayi Hey.
Ọdún bá kaba kúrò.
Ayo.
Ni. Bó ti ni. Ni.
Oti.
Ah, uye ese do bro sinu ko.
Oti.
Uye ese do bro.
Ya ko tere so de mi so what be bi ase.
Uye ese do bro.
Ya pe ase.
No ban su pa do ya ka ku tere.
Ya sira wa ya pe ase.
Ya ka ku tere.
Ya be fast wa ya sira why?
To ka so ni da.
Oti no go ju ene so asa mo ya fra we.
Sasa. Yere asa mo ya baba. Yere baba. Mate. Me da ase. Afi odi ma kwa nkura o. Ye kwa ni mu kwa. 0249 130064. I hear you bedi. Hello.
Papa sala papa mo wa tinasi.
Eva, atase ha ya invie. Mete form.
Mo what do you know about that? What do you know about? And it's not even so for me. I'm not also. I feel glad I will go over more. But I'm in car. I'm in car. The same. What would you know the country of Papa? But I don't need to. Papa,
this one, doctor. This one, hello. Mo midasi. Midasi kofi yawa.
The question is Papa.
Papa mi ti o.
So, ọmọ pẹ̀lú na ere ro ko akidere da ti ara fere.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, you are the full committee for. They know this. They know this. Everyone will know. They know this. Mister, they know this. They said they know. Me, not you. I'm just Joe. We say, "My young woman, my penny, a person for her, sit for her. I'm sure so. Only as someone American. Ultimately, also, he cannot answer because let my country for no some of our meet my career.
Who knows now can you be able to see it?
Kasi, so do you agree about it?
That's all we know.
Comment now.
I say my give me some.
I said no all can. Walk in the phone say the enemy can I have to.
Ebi awura asamu America no kura na America. Eje no ano no. Na we na ba so me na me ku ni ani any wunye ready so be asamu ba.
Onye ready so
wunye ready so be asamu.
Ma ready pa.
Me mo no tie.
Onye say me wo himi.
Ah me say me so ho. Me say ah da bi me so ho. Me am say me himi. What can I say? Obi bu so asema na abofu.
Ibi ye.
Sama Yesu wo wo tie.
Ni bi fi yo.
Na ko wo so na
ye ni sama ko ni bu ko mu ja ye ni santi.
Obi o fa ye wo. Ni abutre. Oh,
Oba me ka so wo.
Dabi, o ya me da se. Mo bi se. Me da se pi. O ya question bi amusa. Musa question.
Who be say me yalo.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Magister me do for pana wani.
Yes, 1 bin gram.
Mo hey.
I am Mohammed Ashankor.
Me da se.
Social na ni di asem
Asem baba.
Easy. Esa ma ni me be ni papa o ma yo hu bi ya se be yo pa ye bo ni.
Ah, ba ye bo ni.
Ya ta ma se ha sa Africa be so sha se ti a ko ti se mu fi ka so mi abe fo.
Sa pe.
Mu bi ni di ma ne se abe fo club ni ne se de
Abe fo club.
Ita ha sa Africa kwa ni ti we be fo ate so ni mi pa.
That's it. ebete abefo fan club ewo Ghana Kumasi KO di be chairman abefo chairman hello
Alofi. Eja joni.
Abefo secretary na aba no kasai
Ofi.
Eja
se
Zaji woni so
nyampa kira fa sa ayi owu obra ho ana na closer ko magana fa nana woti ya komode ya mena dia ni nyame afre no na manya o ya ma ya mbira se enti nyame enti mena dia ni o ma ele jagiane kwa du bibre dia no
ohe mebi so asem me pese wo awo kan wo chire ni tie se wu oman ni panyimfo bia busani se me yes ha de ni wa Ghana hana
omoni watinye enya bo omoni watinye onafo se de waye mo nyanyo nto ma yi uboni ya se
yo de oya wo nwuma de na obi no wode holuma de na se intina for tie se Ghana for amfa holuma de na ma se a musimi ni o mo be ko holuma de so sisi o no o mawo eja mi ye no na aka Ghana sika wo ya yi mo ya dama tie di Ghana di da mo tusire dama tusire
awuche na o kan
de be papa
enti wa na o ye
nyama ni ye o mo tete de ni
yes aria
wo tie mi mama ni na ya discover oil na ba man kan say
asemi waka
na mo woni siko not to oil ready asi se sika go go
enti se se no ye wo chire wo ni mu bi
and me no share mi so mo ga sa man pen for ni se mi e na mo ni kunti abasa yo man ni pen for ni
yo era si o from na dey say wo mo kan say na ku fado chama wuntumi wai mo mra na papa mo ye ye wonto ye
man ni fre ni hello flow mu kasa tire o life
ye ga o na wani
kwaku mi kata fi the boy create Fantini town
kwaku Fantini town ye tie o kwaku
o tina de ko fi de say anodi o
ayo kwaku
o tina we de e de mo de ko tan na we de
kwaku de nya bro ma buru kwasia awu kire yi
o tina o ni adidi e o na de ko ba e no for ma ti me na Ghana
na me kan se ba ko ebu afo o se onko ya hwe no pa de ni e o be ma ehu akire dollar no so be na kosa
o tina e de
kwaku nya yizo ti mu wame na se me be je to de ma na e wunto yi dollar yi
o tina ne Gusama mi say 2024 one dey wi
ano de so mbeso beka abasem o awu kire ni wo mu wasem di no bae
enya no se ba omia oni ba omia di komo o Facebook ni
mi ba tell ba na kan say me ntu aba ema party bia say MPP if you say sa about no bae enti mi do MPP pa mami Teresa o pese me boni di o ya mani a odo me pa enti mi so do no ti wo ni sira no ma Ghana we di e ko fa bro so
hello kwaku de fu from there say ya yire hello yeah maji so ba cho mani
me passe pe me ko bi me ka pita po
yo era se ko ba
wa ju ni tu ele ne die case ni hu pa
case na wo case na hu pa
be para de pese me ka ni we die o pana to yare no yare we de me wala mo tan yare man case na
maso bati bi egu so en kasa radio so mo fa nto so wan kasa ye mpa cho mo fa nje no an kasa ye hello
ma for some
hello mami maji so na wani o yeah adwa tu adwa mre mbasa o adwa mbasa o
wa ka ta so che ina wa ku ga de
ba je ka say yele mi ni wa no se ka say yele mi wa no musro
adwa de yero da to so gani o hello
papa good evening
yeah ali mani o London mama ne o sister Osaka hey sister
na mo to say
yeah
Ye papa na no so me piano.
Je so ayi ma.
Ye me pa to me da me question me ma wa ni say. Ebi asem na wo dey abanti so obi bu sawa me wonya abutra se.
Ni abutra keke ma ni abutra pa. Ko we de sidi ani mu di natam. San me yare.
Abutre we dey enya di dia.
Nya ni ko dey mu de tese me. Sa ni kala ya papa.
Ya say papa me see ayi abefo hima so to atchere nze mu ami ahunu ni ema ni so pa.
Na sam ko Olima.
Ayi papa me see abefo hima no. Wa chere ni ema mu me yehunu se die ni ema ti ko wi ase. Nti ya bana se tembia se we pesa wo de ne beba ami ya tin nsem sa.
Yo Olima. Me so me da sipi. Ni emo amoya abefo wo Ghana mo hya sie na mo so mo form group. Eni ebia fantu tan abefo ku asafu abefo kru sa hello
asafu
hello
yes
abefo kana na aba no ahomaso
bacho ahomaso abefo yima na aba no mo obi ankoto obato obuku eno mare metizai
na ya biye la ese
bia boko
ti ya biya ni se ni temeba
asa
I'm telling you, I'm telling the father in the man. If it doesn't mean I'm not going to so we are going to drop all the baby. I'm like, I am not another. One way about it. We must take nothing but a baby. I'm the dollars. I don't want to do the
no crap.
And I can get that. I don't know when you do that.
But I see, yes, mammy. I come and see BBC. The moon asks my Johnny. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, the water bar near to my home.
No money.
We saw a because of free magic.
No.
That's a bar near me from my lady. I'm a brother. Be a bit in water.
But you're
Papa.
No. But I see me chairman Zifuna. Hey, George, Georgie Motors, Michelle. Hello.
Prophet, one
yes, sir. Me da say, Namado.
Nanado shoemaker.
No,
and one Jipola. Okay. You don't be me a power friend at last.
But you sir.
But I don't be say it is Facebook now only your mom paying the young papa. Not only chat. But I told
no,
no more than
ready.
Okay. Is there okay Facebook is your 40%?
Okay.
You can Facebook one. 44 on the money crazy account so they know they man paying BB.
Anyway, now one is I would open this and over catch us over London. We need or the team call Tema maybe a fair second John. Because I'm say on or what my name access Sabre and I'm a penny. Or can you and mature Mampanino. That's a man on a bookie.
What about finding the other piano? Man, the lady, the
I mean, tell you, company.
And yet, it's a condition.
Yeah, it is because you, I'm cousin Joe. Ghana, the person about baby, Mampan for me, but 2 was associating one more voices the same. Only man, soon I bought black show with you, and Casa.
And okay, and I could have been the cousin to do it.
And yes, you can put it down. I'm not seeing any person.
Nanado, come on, Bimba. Hello. Yes. Nana Badunyo, my pontier. Catch it. Oh, you from Pacho. Yo, nana baby me so. The chair will be our man ponting. Hello. People tell me yo.
Oh, treat me back. I want a
Yo, Iman wo yet yo.
Big random bam. More crack.
Jimmy Safwa.
And then some night some. The person become papa say. So I'm one of done about to be saying me a one so better so my but saying because
open him so me pacho me $10 so me $10 can you grab me ma the woman say me my brother asu o man fisi aduane ya nimu ana sese fisi aduane ni nsa no nya nge me nitua me nya ni nsa ni bibia me nitua me ni me mama ni onu na yasu o man ya o man nya petu crude oil premier isa me kan wona sanko for crude oil ani so plan for so buy time to okay
ya ma from na on the national council nkran ko bi mu na do ya so nkra
papa push metal
na force yenye
papa
na force yenye
papa
what you are saying na force yenye
enso me ye papa ya mi nshira on ton na me papa no pesa me katren say aban ne moa na won chime ka moa me na me de na hwe na kofin do
so wo bibi manu na me number me no so to penye ni na mo da brand ka kira me bi amato de na edi
papa ade ba ko sa ba ifu no me sro be yi ni pebi wada ro ma nya kwa o ka sie ba ko bre mi e bu ya meto
hey Mati kwa smart as me da se so pe be ye ka sie pa chinchrenche hello yes
ni da yi ni cho wani no ka se pa
ko le fena anti system ka tas bi tire
the first say anti sisi aja utimi on the pop only di na uso na say
me yi na mami
asemni anti sisi etio
na me ka to ni ni say yi tene da ko yi tire ma utimi identify crew like oyo ni ma international news ha ne woni group ya o be ka
me pa che mami cheche
na ma into ma bi mo ko teni na no
tangazo
anti sisi what yanga ya ba san na shia
na si pa che sa be ni ni ji pa na cheche se mu pa ni o
tata
se waju ani so
wọ́n wájú ẹ̀rẹ́ sọ wọ́n wájú ẹ̀rẹ́ sọ tó ṣe tó ní ìdí àwọn ọ̀sọ̀ sílẹ̀ wọ́n á fẹ́ àwọn ọmọ kìtà.
Ọ̀hún dá wọn mọ́.
Wọ́n dẹ̀ wọ́n ṣe ọ̀bẹ pẹ́jọ́ fún mi ọ̀bẹ pẹ́jọ́ fún mi.
Wọ́n pẹ́jọ́ fún mi mi náà máa sún ọ̀bẹ yìí o. Màá sẹ́yìn nínú à ó bà tí o nà ní ká sẹ́mi jẹ́ o.
Wọ́n ní bá máa nọ náà wọ́n kì í. Mẹ́sìlá di àwọn ní bá máa nọ náà mi à ń bá náà kọ́kọ́ pa náà ṣe mi ọkọ̀ rẹ̀ mi ọkọ̀ rẹ̀.
Cousin, someone.
Hello, you're going for free. Hello.
Hello,
yeah, you're on the banana. Yeah, I can't get you.
What the assemble?
Then I down.
And let me have a bomb when you join you.
Hey,
I've done it a bomb.
Yes, and Kuma.
Yes, and Pa,
the best way of a radio. Break no Ghana to you guys see me capture your quantity.
And then I was in the woman and you didn't tell me. Then you show me.
Your politics in Banessica by the mouth.
No, and you are money. Hey! Then me, man, from seeing you again for your order.
And you're some mercy.
Miss Netta.
And your mother doesn't matter.
And you're Ghana, yes,
no. Some is super my amro. Number so many jam the palm and aqua party. And then my man Tom Matua. Let me say, sir, my jam you couldn't remember Tom Matua.
But you want my son to have
Matthew,
me. Who can you say police and answer that? Who can you meet again for see for police?
Young hello.
Hello, good evening, okay.
My dear Sobacho Winnie.
But Aziz, I am a Casafra Babu.
Yo, Aziz, me da see it you.
Me patch up on the mission of my power. We are about 20 miles Ghana.
And me.
Mercy FM.
So no.
When you have me pay the Rumbwa, one part me pay the number. Let me Kata.
Yo,
Miss Low, who we are. For the number we marry. No me no Kata. I'm best friend Ama. Bibi aye kuye mama no ntamwa Mr.
Go back to Mate Papa.
We are going to Israel. We salute for your how biara etete.
Number no. Ah, you find it for me ko. Yeah, na biga ma awurade nya ma biga bi so wa ma. Hello. Kogu.
Oja ayi oh Boko Haram ni.
Hello.
Hello, Chief.
Oyine ba na weni o.
Kwaku Clinton ya Asante be kwa na mekasefu.
Yo oyine ba me da ase. Yeti o.
Uchina nishira yeti program na che but ya na you opportunity ni mu.
Kafra.
Yeti for kra do so se omo mutimi ba line so. Takra America le se onu no kasapa ba me pese binya adanse so ya o se wona ne mama nti e be se nko chi no bi opportunity kra nko ne baba bi so mra no no so me confirm ni e sa asem na o kan ya no kra nsa na e bitimi agine dia ya agine dia e na oba na o ye interview no so o kasai I remember say oba bi say ye wona na kasapa ache ya iti program pa nti radio show o ma yisua dia bebe
But I'll see Clinton, I mean, Shapa. Yet, I'm a real yay!
Hey, Abigail,
Abigail, Abigail, Baba. Hey, because of Kwaku Jamba, what Abigail, Baba. Abigail, yay!
You could say, oh, good, Scott, but you know,
I can say, I can tell what is on his soul.
I'm never back at one.
Oh, Kitwa, and the milk, I eat tomato Kitwano, chancing your lucha.
I said, I'm not about by
Matty, I do bomb my son, I day.
Okay,
what about my son, I day?
And so when you want about me. And to me, drone, and
a second, and I come to Sibana Gata, and a 2 and you can't get turned down, Jay, what that? And I don't know Marty, I know, yet to me for the ah, come on, a second program. I'm again just
who's that a question? It's got some no come no crabby womb. No crabby womb, no maybe. What does they say? I say, Ghana, any dama. Aha. And now CTFM4, and they're able to just say, if you sabi and copy match, say, I am a phone, I'm a Billy Ghana out. You see, a semi na be crash. It's you upon us of no canoe. But the man attention,
oh, Obianka,
yes,
but already so many points.
Yes, yes.
But somebody near Tifu in the Bunukuru, also one in Mamma, good. And your Mamma, you don't hear what I don't bet you don't Mamma.
Since I'm a don't come out or Mamma, Mr. Kami, I mean, I'm from Koran and Mammy. Mamma, Panino or Facebook.
Oh, yes, I
27 years.
Like it was saying,
it was 25 years.
I saw my
about 5 years. We didn't to a point to call my
grab 5 years, and I'm McCoy.
We don't go on, Mamma. We just say, we don't go on, Mamma. Sabam don't call, we go for Exacon, and Cotin, and no Mamma think, and I make him say, you know, from Tunching. Also, no more than years, son in my working. And you make me our Omokoma. Nkwara media omo gan omo kuma say ya
nti ko fa omo mi na be
nti pajo ka o se mi ni nkwara ni kasa but ma mi ni so be ka mi ni na ko dia bo be so omo ti high tension ya so
da ban ni ube ready ya ye
bi ya wo fo mi ameba
mate number no nti enu na da ko akofo no mi na betra na de omo so nim e fa sa asem no ya sha se afi wo wo ge mo say
meaning Sankara because every other my own ferry.
You back at Tomani. You back at Tomani with TV.
You do I call and you
numbers.
We were penny number, keep on the moon.
I will appear on here. So many man back.
I'm back.
Omar, and also
Baku out Baku
Baku,
Baku, so a while enough, and I over the buying my person.
You told me now,
Maybe I need to say penny and class on our because we are me.
Now we saw for Pluto Grand Commamo. May you want to see a class. I know, meet you and Colano. Would you have found to China? ɛno deɛ ɛyɛ personal dabi ɛyɛ nkwalaa no nti yɛnni ɔmo ho nkɔmmɔ na mmom kwan afa so na ɔmo huhu mu aboa Ghana no ɛne adeɛ ɛhia yɛn nti yɛbɛdi nkɔmmɔ wɔ akyire na bere pam yɛn nyinaa kɔ ne yɛkɔfa wɔ mo womu ne yɛwu nie ne yɛnni nkɔmmɔ ne yɛwuru mu wɔyi na bɛtumi de aboa Ghana ɛnyɛ asɛ no nyina ni ana mekɛn sɛ yɛte nti nkɔa no bɛma meyɛtena ase aka nsuo tɔe so wobɛsɛ afa fam naasa akɔ bɛ nsuo yi toi kwaku yɛsɛ agyi abebada ko mmienu na yɛpɛ abɛbɔ yɛ anaasɛ wako ne sɛn na woda mu kwaku yɛko awusuafoɔ da mo nyina ase yɛda bibi ase na yɛbɛpɛ bɛsare no ahyia yɛkɔ mate deɛ bɛdi nkɔmmɔ yie abusuafoɔ da bibi ase obiara ne ho so yie wowɔ asɛm bi wowɔ amanneɛ bi wowɔ haw bi wopɛ sɛ ɔno ne di nkɔmmɔ personal wowɔ fie a wɔtɔn kaa asase commercial sɛ yɛ more advert George's Motors wowɔ maazi yɛkyerɛ apɛ da ase paa so so na number no ɛyɛ 0249 130064 0249 130064 0249 130064 me number no when yɛde yɛ adwuma yɛde yɛ biribiara wopɛ advert wopɛ sɛ wobɛyɛ advert a number korɔ no a so wowɔ asɛm bi pɛ sɛ wode bra radio so bi kyerɛ wadwen biribiara the same number 0249 130064 mo a mo send message se ba sɛ abɛɛfoɔ nhyia mu no pɛ sɛ mokɔ bi menkɔgye visa ma mo no bɛba mo kyɛw momfa asɛm bɛhyɛ me nkɔn momfa sika bɛdaadaa me menye visa mesrɛ mo a nti ɛno ano no mene yɛbɛɛfoɔ nti mɛtu no makɔ number no yɛ 0249 130064 yɛakra mo no ɔsia ka sɛ yɛbɛɔkyena